Michigan Wolverines.
Hello and welcome to Ray Fisher Stadium for WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball. The Michigan Wolverines are taking on the Central Michigan University Chippewas in a midweek game. Michigan fresh off their 7-3 victory over the University of Toledo Rockets yesterday and picking right back, looking to pick up right where they left off yesterday. They had quite an offensive output in that first inning, putting up 4 runs on their way to an eventual 4-run victory. Morris, what were your thoughts on yesterday's game?
Well, it was a good game for the Wolverines. They got off to a really hot start. Some nice production out of the bats of Carmen Benedetti with an early double, and especially Cody Bruder with his 3-run homer in the first inning. So the Wolverines probably looking today in front of a not too great crowd on a beautiful day for baseball, hoping to get out to another kind of hot start.
Yeah, Wolverines look to get things going here. Jace Fancina will take them out. Fresh off a great start against Maryland. Morris, can you tell us a little bit more about what he did to shut down that mighty Terrapins offense?
Well, Vancina actually not in the starting rotation for not the starter for the Wolverines in that game. Came out of the pen in relief of Brett Adcock, who struggled through his first 4 innings. Came in and shut down a Maryland team, throwing 4 scoreless innings, giving up 4 hits, striking out 2. Shutting down a Maryland team that many had pegged as one of the elite teams in the Big Ten in this year. So a huge performance by him. Allowed Michigan to overcome some offensive struggles after their 5-run first inning in that game. So Vancina hoping to carry that momentum into his outing today.
And that will bring us right to the start of this game. We are just about ready to get underway. Alex Borglin digging in, the center fielder for the Chippewas. He's digging in that left-handed batter's box, ready to get things underway. Jace Vancina on the mound. The freshman righty steps up onto the mound. Comes set. And here's the first pitch. That one's a strike right at the knees, and we are underway here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in a beautiful Ann Arbor day. Game temperature, 64 degrees. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That one's just outside. Trying to hit the outside corner with the fastball, but just missed.
Looked to be a similar spot to his first pitch, but just kind of pushing the edge of that zone a little bit is Vancina.
Vancina shrugs his shoulders and delivers the 1-1. That one's inside, catches the corner. 1-2.
Vancina really pounding the zone with the fastball there. Good move to get that one in on the hands of Borglin.
Borglin waves that bat behind his left shoulder. Here comes the 1-2 pitch for Vancina. Swing and a miss. He got him swinging on that one. Waved at a breaking ball on the outside. And that's the first out. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the first.
And he got Borglin on a pitch off the plate outside. If I'm not mistaken, Vancina came in with a changeup there, and that changeup to a lefty hitter, especially one behind in the count, tailing away from you off the plate, is devastating. Borglin, all kinds of off balance. Good art of pitching there from Vancina to that on that first at bat.
And Pat McKenzie will step in here. Here's the first pitch. That one in there for a strike. 0-1. McKenzie will take his time, step out, readjust his batting gloves. Now dig back in. 0-1 pitch. That one's just misses low. Count goes to 1-1.
Vancina doing a good job of getting ahead of hitters. If he keeps getting that first strike in, he'll be working with an advantage all day.
1-1 delivery. That one's way in the dirt. And he hits him. It looks like he hit him right on the foot. I thought that maybe hit the ground first, but the home plate umpire, Perry Costello, will rule that one. Caught McKenzie, and McKenzie will limp down to first base. That's the first base runner for the Chippewas here this afternoon.
Well, judging by the trajectory of the pitch out of that right hand of Vancina, I think it did bounce up before it hit him in the batter's box. So an easy base there for the Central Michigan Chippewas.
And here, Vancina working from the stretch with the runner on base. Here's the delivery. That one's inside. Lugbauer pops up, ready to hold McKenzie. McKenzie, fairly successful base stealer this year, 10 of 13 on the year. Wolverines will be keeping an eye on for sure. Cronenworth holding with him there, and there's a throw over there, but he gets back in time.
Pretty safe move by Vancina, doing a good job of making sure that McKenzie doesn't take too big of a secondary.
Vancina comes out, now delivers home. That one's popped up in the air. Cronenworth giving chase. He'll settle underneath it. And he will record the second out of the inning in foul territory. A few steps in front of the Central Michigan Chippewas dugout on the first base side.
Yeah, that's good news in the eyes of Jace Vancina, who after missing his spot a couple times, has saved the task of having to go through a big at-bat against Tyler Hunty, but now that'll bring up Logan Regner, Central Michigan's best hitter.
Logan Regner will step into that lefty batter's box. McKenzie takes his lead off first. Vancina comes out. Now he'll throw over, but easily back in there for Pat McKenzie.
McKenzie not taking too big of a lead over there at first base. Looks like the infield has Regner shaded to pull.
And another quick throw over there. Also safe.
Can never be too safe on the mound, especially this is a situation where Central Michigan would benefit a lot from stealing, getting that go-ahead run in scoring position with 2 outs.
Vancina comes out. He'll deliver home this time. Hits a strike in the outside corner. Low and right at the knees. Gets head 0-1. Another first pitch strike there for Jace Vancina. Cronenworth holding with McKenzie at first. Vancina gets the sign. He'll throw over. That one gets away. McKenzie will trot over to second base. Bad throw there from Vancina. Cronenworth will recover it off the wall and limit any further damage there, but he was trying to keep him close, prevent him from stealing a bag, but effectively the same thing as he allows him to advance to second, now in scoring position with 2 outs for Logan Regner, a dangerous hitter for the Chippewas.
Vancina maybe trying to do a little too much in holding McKenzie over there at first base, trying to pick him off. That's a pretty low probability play, and going a little too quick, rushing his motion over to first base.
Checks the runner at second, now delivers the 0-1. That one's low and outside. Trying to hit his spot with the breaking ball. Misses low and away.
Yeah, came in with that change up, that same pitch that he got Borglund swinging with, but Regner keeps the bat on his shoulder there.
Vancina comes set. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing on and hit right at the second baseman. Jacobson will field out a couple of hip skips, toss it over to Cronenworth, and that will do it for the first inning. Chippewas get a runner to second base, but no more. And we head to the bottom of the first inning, 0-0 your score. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
And it looked like Vancina might have gotten away with a pitch there on a 1-1 count, put that one, a fastball up in the zone, but Regner not able to get those hands in and extend and drive it to the opposite field because it was over the outside part of the plate. Instead, he reached out, tried to pull it, rolled over with the bat, and hit an easy 3-hopper over to Jacobson at second base. A routine inning, and Vancina does not suffer for that 2-out error.
And now Blake Hibbets will get his warm-up tosses in. The towering right-hander just getting back into the swing of things. Morris, can you tell us a little bit about why he's only had 1 start this year?
Well, Blake Hibbets is fresh off of basketball season. Part of the reason that he is of such large stature on the mound, he was playing for the Chippewas, and just a game or so after the season, or a day or so after the season ended, they threw him out there on the mound, and his first appearance did not go so well as he threw 1.2 innings, gave up 3 runs on 4 hits and a walk. Obviously, he was on an understandably tight leash, not having the kind of baseball conditioning that the rest of these pitchers would have for the Chips. But here in the middle of the week, there's no reason not to throw him out there and try to get his arm strengthened up and for the eventual conference season.
Showing a lot of wildness, 2 wild pitches. That's a hit a batter there. Just really needs to try and get things straightened out here. He's got some talent, but really will need to try and get things figured out. So facing a pitcher with some wildness, he obviously did not perform well his last time out. Do you think the Wolverines will go with a similar aggressive approach that we saw in the first 2 innings, or the more conservative approach that saw them only score 1 run in the last 7 innings yesterday?
Well, I think that the Wolverines in general tend to be a rather conservative team at the plate under Coach Bakich, and with a guy who's not exactly fresh. There's 2 ways it can go. He could come out uncharacteristically wild. He could come out really trying to force things over the plate. So Michigan's going to have to adapt to what they see out of this big righty.
And Jacob Cronenworth will dig in. Just in yesterday's game, he led off the game with a solo shot into right field. Here's the first pitch. That one misses outside. 1-0 on Jacob Cronenworth.
Yeah, you kind of get forced into a conservative approach at times when a guy can't find the plate.
1-0 pitch from Hibbets. That one's inside. 2-0.
I would be surprised if Cronenworth had the green light here.
And Nathan Thompson showing a little bit more of Nathan Thompson, home plate umpire yesterday, as the third pitch gets in there for a strike. Nathan Thompson, the home plate umpire yesterday, calling a lot of those inside pitches for strikes. We're not seeing the same thing out of the home plate umpire James Melbeck today. Swung on and fouled off. Then we'll go over the left field side and get into the Yost Ice Arena parking lot. Just not quite making it in the parking lot, still staying within the friendly confines of the Wilpon complex.
That one smashed off the roof, overhanging the fans out on the left field side.
2-2 pitch. Belted right to the second baseman. He'll flip over to first and record the first out.
Yeah.
Solid contact there, but that's right where Pat McKenzie was. Makes a good play on the run and records the out.
Yeah, McKenzie had him shaded to pull the lefty. Cronenworth not able to get that through the hole between first and second base. A pretty routine play there, and Hibbets will gladly take that, fighting back from getting behind 2-0 in the count to Cronenworth.
And that will bring up Jake Bivens, freshman shortstop. He'll swing and foul that one off down the left field line. That will also bounce off a roof and get into the Yost Ice Arena parking lot. Take a few hips and skips and all kinds of bounces with all the cars over there. 0-1 count. Here comes the pitch. That one's inside. 1-1.
You know, a lot of these fans come to the games in hopes of getting a souvenir, but a dent in your car is not the souvenir that you would envision.
Here's the 1-1 pitch from Hibbets. That one misses outside. Tried to get the changeup in there, but didn't get Bivens to chase. 2-1. Hibbets working quickly here. There's the pitch. That swung on and ripped to left field. Left fielder going back a few steps in the warning track. Bradley will record the out. Solid contact there. Back-to-back piece of solid contact by the Wolverines, but hit him right where the fielders were. Bradley able to make that catch a few steps in front of the warning track.
That was a good pitch to hit there for Bivens, about belt high over the plate, but he was just maybe a split second behind on that one, and as a result couldn't quite get the bat on the ball and drive it up the middle. Instead, lofted one out to left field. I think the Wolverines finding their swings a bit.
That brings up Jackson Glines, who like the first one low. Ball one on the center fielder, hitting .411 on the year. Hibbets working quickly here, 1-0. Fastball misses outside. Count goes to 2-0.
Hibbets has been close. He hasn't gotten a lot of called strikes on the corners today for the Wolverines. That's something that he will get as the season lengthens.
2-0 pitch to Glines. That one's ripped to right field, way back, and that one is a foul ball. Just missed. That one took one hop over the wall. Just barely missed foul, maybe about 2 or 3 feet foul. Morris thought that one was out of here off the crack of the bat.
I did think that was out of here. I'm sorry if I misled you at all with my reaction there, Andrew. I almost leapt out of my seat. Glines absolutely turned on that 2-0 pitch on the inner half of the plate, got that about knee high and golfed it, and that looked to be trouble off the bat.
Just a little bit too early. Looked like it probably would have been a ground rule double if he kept it just a little bit more fair. Count now 2-1. That one misses high. 3-1 hitters count coming up for Jackson Glines.
And against a guy who doesn't exactly have mid-season command, Glines could look to do some damage here.
3-1 pitch. That one misses outside. And he will flip the bat and trot down to first base. 2-out walk for the Wolverines. They look to get a rally going here. Carmen Benedetti, the sophomore right fielder, will step in. Benedetti can be deployed all over the field. Played first base and pitcher yesterday. He's out in the outfield today. Very versatile player. Also a powerful hitter. He's had a good year, hitting .312. Also with a number of RBIs, 28 on the year, leads the Wolverines.
Outfield not shading him too deep. There could be space that he could find in the gaps.
First pitch misses outside for a ball.
Yeah, Hibbett's way outside. I'm not sure if he's recorded a first strike on any of these Michigan batters that he has seen today.
Glines takes his lead off first base. Fields holding with him there. Hibbets will check the runner. Now comes set. He'll throw over. Glines able to get back in safely.
Glines not much of a threat to steal. He is 3 of 4 on the year in his attempts, but this would be a time where Coach Backage might be wise to send him down to second.
One on, and there he goes. Throw down to second, and that one will be in time. Glines is out. He tried to get a steal for the second day in a row. He notched his third yesterday, but no such luck today. And he will take off his helmet and shrug his shoulders in disappointment. He got a poor jump on that one, and Hunty came up throwing, and you could kind of tell as soon as it came out of his hand, as long as it was on target, he was going to get him by a good margin, and that's what happened. And Carmen Benedetti will come up for the next inning, get another fresh start. Not a bad approach by the Wolverines, trying to get a runner into scoring position, as the Chippewas did with 2 outs. But we will move to the top of the second inning. No score here. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. I'm Andrew Hausman alongside Morris Fabry.
It looks like we have a special guest with us standing right behind us. In attendance for the game is normal play-by-play man, Eli Sherman. So if you guys are missing his golden voice on the radio, you will hear him some this weekend. But or at least the next time Michigan plays at home. I'm
next Tuesday.
I'm still in spring training mode myself here. But back to that stolen base attempt by Jackson Glines. He didn't get a great jump, and there's a reason that he is not really a guy who's stolen a lot of bases for the Wolverines. You could tell that any decent throw down to there, any routine play by Central Michigan would result in an out for Jackson Glines. And as such, the inning is over.
Yeah, Glines a quick player, but not necessarily. He hasn't ever quite developed the base stealing ability. He's a player that kind of reminds you of someone like Austin Jackson in the major leagues that has that speed, but he just never have quite learned what it takes to steal a bag. He has that speed. He was sent more last year to some mixed success, but has been more conservative with the Wolverines, a little more conservative base running approach this year, less small ball than we saw out of him last year. So Glines still learning the art of stealing bags. He is a player that can go first to third, a very quick player, but still trying to work on stealing bags. He did get that one in yesterday when he got an absolutely phenomenal jump on the Rockets, but no such luck here, and that will bring us to the top of the second inning. Vancina back on the mound. Here comes the first pitch. That one's inside. Fastball a little too high and inside on Daniel Jipping, the DH for today. The 1-0 pitch. That one's a strike in the inside corner.
Good spot there, coming right back inside by Vancini. He's shown a willingness to get inside on these Chippewas.
Jipping, the freshman, hitting .224 in the year. He'll watch that breaking ball go way outside. 2-1 now.
Vancini, not a lot of command with his curveball today.
2-1 delivery from Vancina. Fastball misses inside, 3-1 to Daniel Jipping.
And, you know, early innings, you can be fine as a two-pitch pitcher, but later on in the game, it would do Vancina well to be able to expand that repertoire.
3-1 pitch misses low and away. And a 5-pitch walk for Daniel Jipping. He'll get on. That will bring up Colton Bradley, the left fielder. He'll look down to his third base coach before digging into that right-handed batter's box.
Vancina doing a bit of a disservice to himself, missing with those breaking balls. Digging himself behind in the count in a hole that he could not get himself out of.
Cronenworth holding with Jipping at first. Vancina comes set. He'll deliver home. Bunt attempt. Vancina comes over to field it. He'll throw down to first. And that one's a little high, but Cronenworth will be able to snag that one. And that will advance the runner over to second base. A little small ball of the Chippewas.
Yeah, that was a perfect sacrifice bunt right down the first base line. Well beyond the reach of the catcher, Lugbauer. Not quite enough to produce confusion, get Cronenworth to charge. Maybe you want a little bit more on that, but it did the job and got the runner Jipping down to second base.
Now Zach Fields, the first baseman, he'll dig in with one out here in the top of the second inning. Vancina checks the runner once, twice, now delivers. That one's in the dirt. And now count goes to 1-0.
Vancina not being strong with his front side going home plate, and as a result, that curveball, he's not keeping his upper body composed, not keeping it tight, and as a result, the curveball is tailing away, falling off toward the left-handed batter's box. That's where he's ended up with pretty much every curve that he's thrown today. That's the same pitch that he hit Pat McKenzie earlier on the foot with. And right now, Michigan having a conference on the mound. I think that's Coach Backett, you headed out there.
That's pitching coach Sean Kenny that is going out there. Just have a few words with Vancina. Try and calm down a little bit. The whole infield gather up, and you just try and tell them to calm down. The Wolverines are in no trouble here. Only a runner on second with one out, but a extended meeting, and that one will be broken up by James Malak, the home plate umpire. He was originally listed. He was expected to be the first base umpire. We got a little change of the umpire positions right before Getting this one kind of something you don't see every day, but perhaps they're playing a little April Fool's Day joke on us here in the broadcast booth, switching up positions of where they're going to be on the baseball field here today.
Not sure I really get that sense of humor, Andrew.
And Vancina will come set. Here's the 1-0. That one's popped up in the air. Vancina will drift towards the third base line, now give way to Travis Mazes, and he'll make the catch. That's Travis Mazes' first action in his return from injury. He has played earlier this year, but good to see Travis back in this lineup. He's at third base. Jake Bivens has done an admirable job filling in for Mazes in his injury at shortstop, and he continues to get playing time. Mazes shifts in at third base, while knocking Cronenworth over to the other side at first base.
Yeah, Mays is the normal shortstop for the Wolverines, but it's a good problem to have where you can't put him back out at his old position because his replacement, Jake Bivens, has performed admirably, as you said.
Second out of the top of the second. First pitch in is a strike right at the letters. Zach McKinstry steps in, the shortstop for the Chippewas.
Now expect Vancina to really work the edge of the plate with that fastball changeup combo that he has used against lefties so far in this game.
0-1 pitch. That one hits on the outside corner. They call there from Malek. Wolverines very shallow in outfield all around, shaded towards left field. 0-2 count coming here for Zach McKinstry. Very limited power out of this freshman bat. 0-2 pitch. That one misses way outside. Trying to get McKinstry to chase. Showing a little bit of patience there.
Vancina has indeed stuck with that outside part of the plate. Maybe he's sort of pitching into that shift the Wolverine outfielders have on the lefty McKinstry, not shading him to pull at all.
Yeah, infield a little bit shifted to pull, but outfield very push friendly here. 1-2 pitch. Swing on and ripped foul. Lofted that one in the air down the left field line, and that one will bounce off the Wolverines' indoor bullpen facility.
That was a good pitch there by Vancina, trying to get him to swing at a fastball that was below the knees on the outer edge, and McKinstry able to fight it off. McKinstry, only 2 extra base hits out of the 30 hits he has recorded on the season, both of those being doubles.
McKinstry back in the left-hander batter's box. Vancina checks the runner once, twice. Now delivers 1-2. That one's ripped down the first base line, a little dribbler, and Cronenworth will pick that one up, step on first, make the play unassisted, and the Wolverines will get out of another mini jam. Once again, the Chippewas get a runner in scoring position, but do no further damage, and we head to the bottom of the second, 0-0.
See right there, after the pitching coach came out and talked to him, Vancina had a pretty simple plan and stuck with it against the Central Michigan Chippewas, and that is just utilize that fastball changeup combo, try to stick to the corners, and really hammered it home there against McKinstry, got him way in front of a changeup on the outer edge. There's nothing you could do but roll over on that one and dribble it softly over to Cronenworth at first base. A routine play there and a routine second inning for Jace Vancina.
And that may work for the first inning or so, but first few innings, first time through the lineup. But once you start going through 2 or 3 times through the lineup, we may not see that out of Jace Vancina. But do you think there'll be an issue that he's kind of gone away from his curveball? We didn't see that the rest of that inning after Sean Kenny came out and talked to him. Do you think there'll be an issue that he only became a 2-pitch pitcher? Do you think we'll see a little bit more of that in the third inning and in future innings, or is he just going to stick fastball changeup?
Well, I think that if he can find that curveball, that he will look to utilize it more in this game. But at the same time, it might not really matter because I'm not sure how long the Wolverines plan to have Jace Vancina out there. It really depends on the health of their 2 preferred starting options, Evan Hill and Keith Lehman, who have been sidelined a little bit with injuries. If they plan on sending those guys out this weekend for their weekend series, then perhaps Vancina will be able to have a longer run. But if they need Vancina this weekend, they might have some interest in only having him throw 4 or 5 innings today.
Yeah, that was something we were talking about pregame, why they chose to throw Vancina out there, whether he would look to get a start against Indiana, and that's still to be determined by Coach Baggage and the rest of his staff. Nonetheless, the Wolverines are at the bat. Cameron Rennie will dig back in there. He was at the plate when Jackson Glines was thrown out attempting to steal second base, so he'll take that first one high. Count goes to 1-0. Hivitz delivers the 1-0. That one's ripped to center field, and that one will not quite get down. That one hung in the air a little bit too much. Looked like it was going to be a double up the gap, but it just hung in the air. Borgland able to come over and claim that one and record the easy out.
Yeah, a bit too much loft on that one for Benedetti. Didn't quite get all of that Would have liked him to hit more of a line shot there, but still solid contact out of the 4-hitter.
And they'll bring up Cody Bruder, who yesterday, the first inning, absolute shot to left field over that big left field wall. I didn't think it was going to get out of here. I thought it was going to hit off the top of that wall, but it cleared that fence right where it kind of comes down diagonal, opening up the view to Alumni Field. He takes the first one outside 1-0. Now a little blooper right at the second baseman. McKenzie will field that and flip over to first base. Easy out for the Chippewas there.
That one, Hibbets got in on the hands of Bruder with tailing action on that fastball of his, and not much he could do with it other than get it off the fists. And these Wolverines hitters still trying to find their way against this big righty Blake Hibbets.
He's settled in, and compared to his last outing, doing a lot better, not giving up the hits and showing a lot more control. He hasn't necessarily gotten ahead in the count. He's still forced the Wolverines into fairly weak contact. First pitch to Mazes. That one is one of his, and just as I say it, no first pitch strikes. There's a first pitch strike in the outside corner. Mazes in his first game back after a short absence due to injury. 0-1 count misses outside.
I'd imagine Mazes is going to adopt a pretty aggressive approach at the plate.
1-1 pitch. That one's way inside.
Coming back from injury, you just want to get out there, swing the bat, knock the ball somewhere, run around the bases, have some fun out there.
Here's the 2-1 pitch from Hibbets. That one just misses low. Hibbets thought he had that one. Hunty held it for the extra beat for umpire James Malak, but no such luck. Count goes to 3-1. 3-1 pitch. That one's popped in the air, and that one will get fouled out of play into the left field stands and will hit off that roof covering some of the stands and roll down with it, still within the friendly confines of Ray Fisher Stadium.
That roof's gotten a bit of action earlier in this game.
Count now full. Here's the payoff pitch. 3-2. That one's fouled away again. Mazes stays alive, and that one will hit off the indoor bullpen facility. That also has gotten a lot of action.
Good swing there by Mazes to foul that one off. Going to have to adopt a pretty defensive approach at the plate.
3-2 pitch. That one's high, and Mazes will flip the bat over and briskly jog down to first base. He's on. Can be a base stealing threat time. Only 2 or 2 in the year. We saw him go a lot last year. Did notch into the 20 steal category last year, but obviously missing time to injury, and with the Wolverines more because their approach on the base paths, he has not been in motion as much. We could see it here, though, as the Wolverines try and get to a runner in scoring position for Kevin White. A late change in this lineup. Looked like Ryan Mudoff was going to get us started DH, and he will loft that one in the air to the third baseline, just in foul territory, and Houlihan will record the out. And then first pitch out, that will get the Chippewas out of the inning. So Wolverines get a walk, but no further damage, and we'll head to the top of third. No score. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Morris Fabry.
Yeah, Kevin White, a late addition to the lineup, didn't really hit up there like he wanted to be inserted in there. One pitch, one out, and that'll end the second inning for the Wolverines. It's been I don't know if I'd call it a pitcher's duel so far, because I don't really get the sense that either of these pitches are dominating the action thus far, but the bat's not very warm despite the very nice temperatures out here today.
Yeah, back-to-back beautiful days in Ann Arbor for baseball. Yesterday, it really transformed weather. It was about 35 degrees when I got here at the ballpark, and by middle innings, it was up to 55, and that's what we're looking at right now, almost up to right around 60 degrees today. 2 great days, especially when this time in Ann Arbor, you can normally get a lot of rain. April showers bring May flowers, and Morris, what do May flowers bring?
Joy, baseball, happiness, the end of the semester.
I was looking for pilgrims, but it's kind of the same thing. But.
Nah, we don't do the jokes here, man.
It's April Fool's Day. You gotta
exactly.
Gotta get the holiday spirit.
Well, yeah, but see, that's the thing. It's there's levels to the humor, because normally I'm very laughable and jokey and punny on the broadcast, as you might have heard on our softball broadcast on Saturday. But today, it's no smiles. It's all business here at Ray Fisher.
All business here, and we will get ready for the third inning. Jace Mancino will get back on the mound. 2 innings so far, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Still trying to get settled in. He hasn't had his best stuff, but neither of the Chippewas hitters. They've got a runner to second base both times, but haven't been able to do anything. They're 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position, 0 for 4 with runners on. So he's been able to limit them so far, despite the hit batter and the walk allowing runners to reach.
Well, let me tell you, he just threw a very tight breaking ball in warm-ups. So if that can translate over to the inning, we might see a little more success.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about after the end of that past inning, if he was going to bring that breaking action back. And based on what Morris saw in warm-ups, we could very much see it in this first at-bat. Houlihan will dig in. Here's the first pitch. Strike in the inside corner. No breaking action there. That's a fastball right at the knees.
Vancina has been aggressive attacking these hitters with the first pitches.
Lots of first pitch strikes here today. Here's the 0-1. And that's a bunt attempt. It gets down the third base line. Vancina will come over and field it. He'll fire, and he'll get him by a step. Good bunt attempt there. Houlihan trying to bunt for a base hit. Good attempt there, but better fielding by Vancina. He came over, did his job. Didn't quite get quite far enough down the third base line for it to be an excellent bunt, but still a solid attempt at trying to bunt for a base hit.
Yeah, you do see some of those in that exact same spot go for base hits, but Vancina, good job of staying composed and making that play, barehanding it cleanly.
And we'll come back to the top of the order. Borglund will also show bunt, but he'll pull it back, and that one will miss high. 1-0.
Wolverines with some action in the bullpen right now. Oliver Jaski warming up for Michigan.
1-0. Fastball on the inside corner. That makes it 1-1. Mazes right on the edge of that infield grass at third base. Looking for the possible bunt from the speedy Borglund. Borglund waiting for the 1-1. That one misses low.
Looked like Vancina was pounding the inside part of the plate earlier in that bat. Went outside with the changeup, but couldn't hit his spot.
Here's the 2-1 delivery. That one's ripped just down the first base line. It stays a fair ball. Cronenworth will come over and field on 3 skips. He'll make the play unassisted. 2 up, 2 to top of the third.
Yeah, right there, Vancina changed the eye level, going outside and low with the changeup, and then coming right back in on the hands of Borglund with the fastball. Vancina has been pounding the inside part of the plate today. That at bat no different in Borglund. Now able to turn on that one, just weakly fisted it down to Cronenworth.
And with 2 outs, they'll bring up Pat McKenzie. Hit by a pitch his first time up, right on the foot. Has a propensity for really getting on base. 29 walks, one of the top walk getters in the nation. Also, a .484 on base percentage.
And he's been the top hit by pitch man in this game as well.
1-0 pitch. That one's inside. Almost took another one there. 2-0.
Some people just have a propensity for inducing wildness in pitchers. I don't know what it is from McKenzie, but maybe he just strikes fear into the hearts of opposing moundsmen.
And maybe that's exactly what he's doing here, showing his propensity for patience. This is that one low and inside. 3-0 here. Delivery. And that one hits him again. Wow. We could not have predicted. Just as we were saying, his propensity for getting hit. That's his second hit by pitch in a row, and he'll slowly jog down. That one got him on the shoulder. First, he gets hit on the foot. Now he gets hit right on the shoulder. 3-0 count, and that's not what you're looking for out of a 3-0 count. Vancina, very wild. 3 balls missed, and then looking to probably just pour a fastball in. Instead, plunks him right in on the shoulder.
This kid's got natural talent. Let me tell you, from up here in the booth, I wanted to throw a baseball at him. So he just promotes that aura about him.
And there's the first pitch. Lugbauer will pop up out of his stance watching McKenzie. McKenzie, as we mentioned, 10 of 13 stealing base on the year. Advanced to second after he got on in the first inning by a throwaway by Jace Vancina. It's the Wolverines' error on today's game. Vancina comes set. Now he'll deliver home. That one's ripped to center field, but that one will float up there. Jackson Glines will trot over there, close his glove on it, and record the out. So once again, the Chippewas get a base runner for the second time. Patrick McKenzie hit by a pitch, but no damage by the Chippewas. We head to the bottom of the third. No score on WCBN Sports Radio.
Pretty much a carbon copy of what happened in the first inning as McKenzie got on base. But this time with 2 outs, Vancina paying more attention to the hitter, Hunty, who at the number 3 spot, only hitting about 230 on the year. He's got some power numbers, but not exactly a fearsome prospect to face for these Michigan pitchers. He retired him with ease, came back in with a fastball, and now the Wolverines a chance to break this scoreless tie with the bottom part of their lineup.
And Blake Hibbets will step back out there, having cut his ERA in more than half. Came into this game with a 16.2 ERA, already down to a 7.36, obviously by virtue of only having pitched 1 2/3 coming into this game. Already got notched 2 innings on the day so far. What can the Wolverines do to turn this around? They've not had the best contact. There have been pitches to hit. There have been those flyouts to left field. There have been some rips hit at the fielders, but what can they do to turn things around against the big right-hander?
Well, it's hard to say. It's not like Hibbets is really wild or really hitting the corners even. He's throwing pitches for these Wolverines hitters. They just have to get the pitches in the zone, in their happy zones per se, and drive them somewhere. It's no more than see ball, hit ball for these Wolverines, but maybe they're still basking in the glow of their weekend series win against Maryland and yesterday's win against Toledo, overlooking this game, looking toward the weekend series against Indiana, who is a consistent contender atop the Big Ten. This might be a bit of a throwaway game for the Wolverines.
I don't know if the Wolverines can afford to throw away this one. Central Michigan, a very quality opponent, 18-10 on the year. Very good looks. They are definitely going to be in contention for that MAC title, looking to win that the automatic bid at the end of the year in that MAC tournament. So they will definitely be in contention. They're one of the top teams in the MAC this year. Michigan can't afford to overlook them here. First pitch from Hibbets is outside. Drew Lugbauer at the plate, getting a start behind the plate today for the freshman. Here comes the 1-0 delivery. That one's ripped to left field. Left fielder going back, but he will settle underneath that one. And got another pitch to hit, but once again could not square it up. Wolverines a little late on these fastballs, not ripping it up the center of the field. Instead, lofting him out to left field. Bradley makes another easy catch out there in left field.
Yeah, that went out of the outer half of the plate. Lugbauer did a good job of going with the pitch, but another fly ball. Hibbets has forced his fair share of pop-ups and fly balls against these Wolverines hitters.
Eric Jacobson takes a cut and misses. 0-1. Jacobson takes a few brightest cuts, digs back in, waiting for the 0-1. Another swing and a miss. 2 breaking balls get Eric Jacobson to fall behind 0-2.
That one dropped way off the table, bouncing into the waiting catcher's mitt of Hunty.
0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. 3 straight swings and misses out of Eric Jacobson. Poor at bat there. Had him fooled in that one. Breaking balls, and then a changeup gets him. And that brings it 2 outs. Bringing up Jacob Cronenworth. We're back at the top of the order.
Jacobson did not look comfortable at all up there at the plate. Had his head hung as he moved back to the dugout.
Here's the first pitch. That one just misses. Looked like a good pitch from Hibbets. Just a little bit outside. Houlihan right on the edge of the infield grasp, waiting for a potential bunt. 1-0 pitch is inside. Runs the count to 2-0.
Wolverines trying to get a 2-out rally here. They have the lone base runner they have put on today, Jackson Glines, got him with 2 outs. It's hard to get a rally when your opening hitters of the inning are just not getting the job done.
2-0 way outside, right through the heart of that right-handed batter's box. Steve Cronenworth will dig back in the lefty batter's box. Get ready for the 3-0. He was taken all the way, but he will drop the bat and sprint down to first base. Really quick walking. And a 4-pitch walk there. That will bring up Jake Bivens, the freshman shortstop.
Cronenworth, Michigan's best base stealing threat, or at least most prolific base stealing threat on the year. He has only successfully converted his stolen bases 6 times in 11 attempts. It'll be interesting to see if Bakich tries to move him up on the base paths here with 2 outs.
Fields holding with him there, and Cronenworth will draw a throw over. It's kind of a quick flip. Hibbets letting Cronenworth know that he knows he's there. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. No score from Ray Fisher Stadium. That one gets away. Cronenworth will get up and trot down to second base. No throw there from Pat McKenzie. And twice that will draw a hearty applause here as the Wolverines get a runner in a scoring position. About 200 fans, roughly equal turnout, maybe 250, roughly equal turnout to yesterday's Tuesday game against Central Michigan, against Toledo.
Yeah, these weekday games often use as tune-ups. This is some good practice for pickoff moves gone awry for both teams.
And that one's in the dirt. Perhaps Cronenworth had a chance to move up to third if it didn't take a good block there from Tony Hunty.
Shortstop McKinstry taking some steps, making his presence felt behind Cronenworth to prevent him from getting too big of a secondary down at second.
Cronenworth takes his lead off second. 1-0 misses just outside.
But, outside of those precautionary measures, they're not paying a lot of attention there. It wouldn't really be smart for Michigan to send Cronenworth down to third base, but I think he could do it. They're not paying him barely any mind at second base.
It doesn't make a ton of sense here. Cronenworth will likely score at any sort of contact going off on the pitch, but he is dancing around there on second base. 2-0, strike right at the knees, poured the fastball in there.
Lines. Interesting that he didn't swing at that one. Maybe it was a little too outside for his liking, but on 2-0, the Michigan Wolverines really could use a hit here.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out, man on second. Here's the delivery. That one's hit right to the second baseman. He'll flip that over to Zach Fields covering first base, and the Wolverines get a runner to second, but no more. Still scoreless after 3. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
And on that pitch, they actually were sending Cronenworth to third base. He was off on the pitch. Definitely not a hit and run type of situation. He was just straight stealing third base. I don't know if he got the best jump, but I guess it's interesting that was even an option that Michigan went to on that play.
And we'll see a new pitcher here for the Wolverines coming in. That's Oliver Jaski. So after 3 innings, Jace Fancina's day is done. Perhaps what we predicted, that the Wolverines trying to save him for that weekend series with Indiana, perhaps getting a start or coming out of the bullpen, depending on the health of Keith Lehman, Evan Hill, and depending on if the Wolverines decide to start Jacob Cronenworth again. He got one of his first starts in his collegiate career in that Maryland series. Performed it very well, but gave up 2 runs and ended up taking the loss. Wolverines only able to get 1 in that game. They fell 2-1 in that game before taking 2 more in the series. So we'll see what the Wolverines look to do with their starting rotation in Indiana this weekend.
Yeah, Cronenworth usually in his pitching career used as more of an option out of the bullpen, but this year, especially with the injuries to Hill and Lehman, Michigan forcing to explore some of their lesser used options on the bump. And today, an opportunity to do even more of that for the lefty Jaski. Jaski looks to be about, 6'2", 6'3" out there. He's got a pretty stiff upper body when he throws. His upper back hunched over a little bit as he moves in toward home plate. Not very loose with the torso.
Jaski, the freshman out of Grandville, Michigan, over on the west side of the state. He's seen a little bit of action so far this year. Last pitching this weekend against Maryland, went 2/3 of innings, gave up 1 walk, no strikeouts.
Jaski just about taking his last warm-up pitches here. The Wolverines have a couple pitchers getting loose out there in the left field bullpen. A little difficult to see some of the numbers on their jerseys, but needless to say, this is an opportunity for the Wolverines to try some things. The catcher, Lugbauer, chucks it down to second base, and we're about ready to get started with the top of the 4th. Leading off for the Central Michigan Chippewas is their number 4 hitter, the right fielder, Logan Regner. The lefty, Jaski, looks in. Reddies gets the sign. The first pitch to Regner is a fastball in there for a called strike on the outside corner. Jaski pouring the fastball in there, attacking Regner early in the at-bat. Jaski stares in, shrugs his shoulders. The 0-1 pitch is lined to the left side through the hole between short and third. The first hit of the day for either team, and the Central Michigan Chippewas will start off the top of the 4th inning with the leadoff player on first base.
And that's the first time either side has gotten a hit and gotten a player, their first batter on base. So trying to get something going here. Regner will trot down to first base. And he is quite a prolific base stealing threat, 12 of 15 on the year, good for 80%. Wolverines will keep a close eye on him.
Jaski delivering from the stretch. Kicks, throws, an off-speed pitch called strike on the inside corner to Daniel Jipping. Jipping 0 for 1 on the day today for the Wolverines. 0 for 0 with a walk in his first at-bat. Jaski takes his time, looks over to first, taking a couple looks over at the runner. Now delivers with a breaking ball high and outside. Couldn't pull that one down into the zone, and the count moves to 1-1 on the designated hitter, Daniel Jipping. Cronenworth holding Regner over at first base. Everybody else shaded at about normal depth. Infield has Bivens and Jacobson shading up the middle. Jaski opts with a pickoff move over to first base, and Regner gets back with ease.
And Regner doesn't quite have the necessary build of a base stealing threat, but he has been good so far. He's 6'2", 192 pounds, but kind of has a look of a big boy over there. But still, he can motor down there, and Wolverines will be paying attention.
The 1-1 pitch from Jaski is swung on and missed. An off-speed pitch, foul tipped into the glove of Lugbauer. Now at 1-2, Jaski looks in, gets the sign, comes set. Looks over to first. And now the 1-2 pitch from Jaski, swinging a chopper towards second, fielded by Jacobson. Sex on second one. The throw over to first is in time. An easy double play for the Wolverines, erasing the early threat there for the Central Michigan Chippewas.
And a smart play there by Jacobson. He probably could have caught that one in the air, but knew he had a chance or two, so let it fall, hit the ground, and then just stepped on second, flipped over to first. Good double play by the Wolverines.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether or not that chopped in front of home plate. The sun is shining.
It did chop. So
shining directly at us. So either way, a good pick and a good throw by Jacobson.
Yeah, wasn't sure if that one chopped or not, or if he got that one, but looking at the replay, it did chop. So either way, he was going to have to step on second base and then throw over to first.
So that'll bring up Colton Bradley, the righty, took the first pitch for a ball. Now the second pitch is popped up into shallow right field, moving over toward the line, toward the foul wall, and making the catch is Carmen Benedetti for the Wolverines. A nice long run after that one, getting some cardio out here on this beautiful day and ending the top of the fourth inning. We will head to the bottom half. The Wolverines looking to break this scoreless tie. You're listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan baseball.
And Carmen Benedetti really learning to love that right field fence. Just yesterday, we saw a almost web jammy, excellent play out of Carmen Benedetti when he was at first base in those first 7 innings yesterday, and he came over and got a foul pop out. He had to go across his body and really kind of extend his arm as far as it could go. Got a foul pop up when the Toledo Rockets were starting to mount a little bit of a threat, and then they made a good running play. Was about to, if he only had a few more steps before he ran into that fence. So really learned to love it over there on the right side of the field here at Ray Fisher.
Yeah, you call it an almost web gem. Now I hear it was reported a little bit differently during the initial broadcast with you and Zach Shaw. But regardless, we're heading into the bottom of the fourth. It'll be Glines hitting for the Wolverines, leading off the inning, followed by Benedetti and Cody Bruder. Benedetti looking to do it on both sides of the ball for the Wolverines. They're still facing Blake Hibbets, who came into this game with an ERA over 16. Now he's got it under 6.
Yeah, that's the benefit of only having pitch 1 2/3 coming in. And how long do you expect Hibbets to really stay on the mound here today? Still trying to get back in the swing of things. Do you think this could be his last inning?
Well, I don't know. I think that there is something to be said for lengthening out his start, letting him loosen up that arm just by throwing a lot of innings in a game situation. I think that they ought to keep him out there, maybe setting a cap at about 6 innings for Hibbets. And, he might last that long anyway. He's struggled a bit with his control, 3 walks in 3 innings to these Wolverines hitters. Only 1 strikeout, that being Jacobson last inning. And now the Wolverines send up the meat of their order, looking to take advantage of a starter who is just starting to settle into his groove here at Ray Fisher. Glines, the tall lefty, steps into the box. The first pitch from Hibbets is in there over the inner half of the plate for a called strike. Hibbets pouring the fastball in there.
A little bit of a scoreboard malfunction out here in right field, just an all blue screen. Maybe perhaps we'll send our producer Eli Sherman out there to get that one fixed up.
The 0-1 pitch from Hibbets is a fastball off the plate outside for ball 1. Count even at 1-1. It's that blue screen of death. Maybe they're just showing their support for the Maize and Blue out here in their alternate uniforms today. The 1-1 pitch to Glines started outside and stayed outside. Hibbets unable to pour that breaking ball over the outer half of the plate. The count now 2-1 on Jackson Glines.
You mentioned their alternate uniforms. These are a real crispy look, mainly all white, but they got those blue and yellow trim.
Glines swings and flies one high and fouled down the left field line. unable to square that one up and put it fair somewhere. A lot of fly balls and pop-ups off the bats of these Wolverines hitters. Glein's going to have to get on top of one if he wants to reach base. The 2-2 pitch now from Hibbets, swinging a half cut, fouls it off into the screen behind home plate. Glein's maybe had second thoughts about that one mid-swing, but does enough to keep the at-bat alive. So now Hibbets takes his time, looks in the 2-2 pitch to Jackson Glines. Fastball up and outside, out of the strike zone. The count moves full on the lefty Jackson Glines, hitting .411 on the season.
Glines looking for his second walk of the day. Also reached out a walk his first time up before he thrown out trying to steal.
The payoff pitch is high and well outside, gets past the catcher Huntley. Hibbets nowhere near the strike zone on that one, and Glines takes his second walk of the day, moving his on-base percentage to .518 on the year. Pretty impressive. And that will bring up for the Wolverines the right fielder, Carmen Benedetti. Benedetti hit one hard in his first at-bat to that right center field gap, but it hung up just a little too long in the air. And now Central Michigan coach coming out, and that might be all we see of Blake Hibbets today. We have someone trotting in from left field. A pretty encouraging outing for Blake Hibbets, but that will be all for him.
And he is responsible for that run on first base. But his line, as it stands right now, 3 innings pitched, 4 walks. That's not too encouraging. Only 1 strikeout. 48 pitches for against 12 batters, but no hits, no runs. So that's got to be encouraging for this Chippewa squad.
A little rare that you see someone getting pulled during a no-hitter, but obviously extenuating circumstances for a guy coming off of playing a different sport for a few months. So the Chippewas will bring on a lefty to face the lefty, Carmen Benedetti, hitting with no outs, and Jackson Glines on first base. It'll be Braxton Markle in the game for these Central Michigan Chippewas.
And here on April 1st, number 1 Braxton Markle will step in. He's pitched 7 innings so far this season, 5 hits, 0 runs allowed, 4 Ks, 3 walks on the year, also notching 2 saves. So impressive season by the lefty so far. Not a ton of action. The 6'1" redshirt freshman out of Woodlands, Texas.
So it'll be Benedetti, followed by Cody Bruder and Travis Mazes. A lot of left-handed bats in this Wolverines lineup. So while Markle hasn't thrown a ton over the course of the season, he might see some extended time today against this pretty imbalanced Wolverines lineup.
Yeah, Wolverines overloading that side, trying to get to the righty, and they were unable to do so, not even notching hit, but they do have their first runner on here, trying to get something going here. They exploded offensively yesterday in the first 2 innings, putting up 6 runs, unable to do anything here so far.
Markle taking his last warm-up pitches. Everybody, the infield throwing around a baseball and just trying to stay loose during this break, though it's markedly easier to do so now than it was earlier on in the season in the cold weather. Markle zips a fastball in there. The Central Michigan Chippewas are finally back to their positions. We are about ready to get back underway here at Ray Fisher. The big lefty, number 43, Benedetti, steps into the batter's box, takes a couple of practice cuts.
And Logan Regner had taken a little break out there in the bullpen, but he's finally back ready to go in right field.
Wind not here at Ray Fisher. That American flag out in left center, rippling slightly in the breeze, but not blowing with much intensity. And now stepping out of the box is Benedetti. I think he had maybe a bug fly into his eye or something. That's what it looks like from up here.
Yeah, really hard to tell what happened. The second day in a row that we've seen a Wolverines batter have something in his eye in the middle of an at-bat, have to call time.
Third baseman Houlihan way in, expecting a bunt perhaps from Benedetti. The first play from Markle is not a pitch home, but a pickoff throw over to Glines at first base. Glines back there easily. Houlihan shaded in at third. Everybody else shaded normally for the Chippewas on defense. Markle again looks over to first, and Glines back there with ease. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere.
He's taking a pretty aggressive lead there.
You know, sometimes it's easier to steal off a lefty pitcher because you know what he's doing earlier than a righty. Benedetti squares to bunt already. Markle delivers home, and his pitch in there for a called strike. Perhaps Glines just gauging how the infield will react to a bunt attempt. Benedetti walks back toward the dugout, perhaps talking to Coach Bakich and maybe reevaluating how he's going to face Markle right now. Bakich sends him back out there.
Interesting to see a in-person conversation rather than just stepping out, taking the signs.
Perhaps a bit of confusion over the single. Perhaps Glines sees something Bakich might have neglected. Either way, Markle again throws over to first base with a pickoff. And again, Glines in there with ease, though this time he opts to slide head first into the bag. With Glines drawing that kind of attention, Benedetti has a pretty big hole on the right side. And he lines one into right center field. That one's going to drop in there for the first Wolverines hit of the day. Glines rounds second and heads over to third. Well, he will get in standing up. So the Wolverines now have runners at the corners with no outs, starting a bit of a rally for themselves, and that will bring up the righty, Cody Bruder, to face the lefty Markle.
Good piece of hitting there. Wolverines all day long. They've either been too late or too early. That's the first hit we've even seen go up the middle of the field. And a good piece of hitting there to just take what the pitcher gives you and get the first hit of the day.
So now Bruder with a big opportunity for the Wolverines. Central Michigan doesn't have the infield in. They're going to basically concede that run from Glines if Bruder can put the ball in play. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, pitch high and outside for a ball.
Looked like the safety squeeze was in play there as Glines started conservatively down the line, but was perhaps looking to go on contact rather than just on the pitch.
Coach Bakich utilized a lot of small ball last year, and while the numbers may not smile on it, it's fine if it works. The 1-0 pitch now to Bruder. Fastball in there on the outside corner for a called strike. The count evens at 1-1, although the scoreboard says otherwise. Umpire reaffirming that it is indeed a 1-1 count to Markle. Markle comes set, delivers, bunted. That one down the first baseline. Markle fields, throws over to first, and they got him at first base just by a half step. Bruder unable to beat that one out. Interesting to see a bunt there, and Glines did not budge from third base. Not exactly sure what's going on there. Benedetti moves down to second on the play. Our resident analyst slash statistician slash whatever you want to call it, Eli Sherman, is awestruck at the fact that Bruder was not called safe over there at first base.
I don't know, it looked like he got him out by probably about a half step, but still not too controversial of a call.
And, Mr. Sherman, also a former umpire, so he would know just as well as any of the men out there wearing black. So that'll bring up the lefty, Travis Mazes. First pitch, a breaking ball off the plate inside for ball one from Markle.
Mazes drew one of the 4 walks from starter Blake Hibbets in his first time up today.
Markle comes set. Ready's the 1-0 pitch to Mazes. A breaking ball popped up into foul territory behind home plate and into the stands about 20 feet to our left.
17 rows up. That one hit right into seat number 3. No one was occupying that one today.
So Mazes with a 1-1 count. Central Michigan does have first base open in case they get behind into the count, but Mazes maybe not a huge threat coming off of injury. The 1-1 pitch from Markle, swinging a ground ball through the hole on the right side for a base hit. Rounding second and coming home with a full head of steam as Benedetti throws into the home plate, bounces into the glove of Hunty, but not before Benedetti gets in there. 2-run RBI single there for Travis Mazes. Welcome back.
What a nice piece of hitting there. Benedetti, kind of surprised that he didn't slide home on that one. That one, the ball got there right as he was stepping across home plate, standing up. Nonetheless, the Wolverines back-to-back hits, and they get, 2 hits in this inning, get 2 runs on the board. Great piece of hitting there by Travis Mazes. Gets it, puts it in the hole, and gets the first run on the board of the game.
And, Kevin White, a late substitution into this game for the Wolverines, has been replaced. Kyle Jusick pinch hitting for him now, a lefty against the lefty Markle.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Kevin White did not look ready for that first at-bat with a lame pop-out in his first time up, so perhaps Eric Bakich seeing the same thing as us, sending out a pinch hitter.
I think lame is an apt adjective. First pitch from Markle, low for a ball, came in with a breaking ball. to Jusic, and now with a 1-0 count, comes set, delivers home. Breaking ball stayed high out of the strike zone. Jusic let that one go by. Count moves to 2-0 on Kyle Jusic.
Just a little bit too high for Jusic to do any damage to that hanging breaking ball. That's not where you want to leave that one.
Not at all. If he can't get that one down, Jusic could do some damage. The 2-0, well, he tries a pickoff move over to first base. Zach Fields holding Mazes close. Mazes back there standing up. Wolverines not necessarily looking to steal right now. Mazes not taking a big lead over at first. Markle comes set, delivers. Called strike on the outer edge there. Not a ton of juice on that pitch, but it'll do nonetheless.
Yeah, Kyle Jusic unable to catch up to the one despite the lack of juice.
Houseman, you're killing me. 2-1 count now.
Oh, you're doing that one on purpose, Phil.
Oh, my goodness. The 2-1 pitch to Jusic is grounded toward the right side. Sliding stop over there by Fields, and he'll move over step on the first base bag. Mazes down to second on the play. That one looked like it maybe could have found the hole between first and second. A bit of a hit and run look there for the Wolverines, but nice play by Fields. Prevents any further damage from happening. So now with 2 outs, that will bring up Drew Lugbauer.
And that's what that was, a hit and run. Mazes was in motion on the pitch, and I didn't think that Fields was going to get to that one. He was holding with Mazes, but perhaps because it was the hit and run, he was able to retreat just a little bit off the bag, get over into more proper fielding position, and able to make a nice backhanded play to get that one.
And now a pickoff throw down to second base. Mazes forced to slide back in there, but he beat the throw by a good deal of time. So now the lefty Lugbauer struggling at the plate on the season, hitting 184, 179 with runners in scoring position. Facing a lefty in Markle. Markle comes set. Taking his time, watching the runner, looks in. The first pitch to Lugbauer is in the dirt off the plate outside. Hunty doing a good job to slide over and block that one from getting past him.
First time up, Lugbauer was one of those Wolverines hitters that wasn't able to capitalize on the pitch to hit that Blake Hibbets gave him. He got a good fastball, but just a little too late and lofted it out to left field for the easy out.
Markle comes set, looks home. The 1-0 pitch is taken low for a ball, so Lugbauer ahead in the count. Will have, ideally, will have another chance to find a pitch he likes and drive it somewhere.
Mazes does have good speed. You'd expect with 2 outs running on any contact, he would score from second.
Markle comes set. They have the infield shading Lugbauer to pull. The 2-0 pitch, a breaking ball in there for a called strike, about belt high with that curve ball.
He's got a swing on that one. I don't know. There's no better pitch to drive. I don't know what he was looking for there.
Maybe a fastball with not a lot of movement on it, but as far as breaking ball goes, that one was a lollipop. The 2-1 pitch to Lugbauer comes in there and leaves that one also high out of the zone. The command for Markle not exactly on point today for the Chippewas, and the count moves to 3-1 on Lugbauer. Lugbauer will see something to hit here. First base is open, though. Markle readies, comes set. Looks in, the 3-1 pitch. Fastball in there, splits the heart of the plate for a called strike. And again, Houseman is gesturing at Lugbauer. Just lift the bat off your shoulder, swing and drive that somewhere.
2 great pitches hit this at bat. I don't know what he's waiting for.
Well, we shall see what he's waiting for here with a full count. Markle comes set. Readies the payoff pitch, swinging a shot over second base and into right field. Mazes rounding third, heading home. The throw in is off target. Mazes slides in safely. An RBI single with 2 outs for Drew Lugbauer. And Andrew, I think it's safe to say that's what he was waiting for.
And give credit to Drew Lugbauer. I was given a hard time earlier that at bat, not swinging at pitches I thought were good to hit, but patience pays off for the young Wolverine, and he gets the job done, driving in Travis Mazes. Mazes with a little nifty slide there at the end. He really didn't need to. The throw was a little bit late, but with a nifty slide to just tap his hand in there. Not exactly what you want to see with a player's first game back from injury, but nonetheless gets the Wolverines a 3-0 lead.
Hey, you got to get the job done somehow, and Mazes is certainly able to do so. Wolverines have tested the arm of the right fielder Logan Regner a couple times. I'll tell you, in warm-ups, we had him pegged as a guy with a pretty good rocket on his shoulder, but Regner not able to cut down any runners today for the Central Michigan Chippewas.
Yeah, Regner was playing at average depth there, and he had to come over to his right, and what really paid off for Mays is Mays is already a quick runner, and since it was 2 outs, he could just take off on any sort of contact. I really didn't think there was any way that unless it was a shot right at an outfielder that there's going to be any play at the plate. Surprised that he even had a play in the plate, and that's perhaps a testament to his arm strength that it was even so close that Mays felt he had to do that tricky little slide there. So testament to his arm strength, but unable to get anything in so far.
And credit Lugbauer for hitting that just soft enough that Regner was not able to get over and surround that ball and make a good throw home. So now that'll bring up Eric Jacobson, struck out on 3 pitches in his first at-bat, now facing an entirely different foe in the lefty Markle, who has struggled in this inning. Lugbauer taking a short lead off first base. Markle looks in, delivers. First pitch is low in the dirt, gets away from the catcher, running down to second and sliding in safely is Lugbauer, taking advantage of a pitch in the dirt. And so now another runner in scoring position as the Wolverines look to continue the rally.
And Lugbauer showing on that one why he only has 1 stolen base on the year, moving like a catcher, kind of like we'd expect someone like our producer Eli Sherman to move on a ball in the dirt. A kind of looking like a John Navarre, just kind of a slow rumble there, getting down to second base nonetheless.
Now the 1-0 pitch to Jacobson is lined foul, grounded foul down the third base line. The count evens to 1-1. Andrew Hausman busting out a John Navarre reference on a baseball broadcast, and Eli Sherman's had enough. He's out of the press box, and he is headed out of Ray Fisher Stadium. He's had enough of us.
I think he'll be back.
We shall see. Now the count moves to 1-1 on the second baseman, Eric Jacobson. Marco readies, delivers. Swinging a pop-up, foul territory in the right side, should stay in play, and it will. It is caught over in front of the Central Michigan dugout there by Fields. And so that'll be the end of the Wolverines' threat here in the bottom of the 4th, but not before they tally a 3 spot, getting on the board and taking the lead 3-0 over the Central Michigan Chippewas as we head into the 5th inning.
And great inning for the Wolverines. They had been not only just shut out, but they hadn't even recorded a hit, but they get 3 hits and 3 runs. Excellent conversion. Great pieces of hitting from first Travis Mazes to knock in the 2 runs, and then a 3rd run tacked on by Drew Lugbauer. I was ripping on his hitting approach for not swinging at first, a hanging breaking ball, and then a sitting fastball. We really could have drive, but when the count ran full, he got a pitch he could hit, got it into right field, and was able to score the speedy Travis Mazes, and the Wolverines take a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, and I guess you could say that they were no longer inhibited by Blake Hibbitt's presence on the mound. Once he was pulled from that game, the Wolverines' bats came to life, and they were able to get a rally.
And Oliver Jaskey will remain on the mound, the young lefty for the Wolverines. Will get his 2nd inning of work. Gave up a hit last inning, but no more.
Leading off for the Central Michigan Chippewas is the first baseman, Zach Fields, a righty. He will be followed by Zach McKinstry and Joe Houlihan. Not exactly a trio that strikes terror into the heart of opposing pitchers, but they will need to get something going if Central Michigan is to get on the scoreboard here in this top of the 5th inning.
Zach Fields with a easy pop out to third base his first time up.
Fields hitting 125 on the season, a 184 on base percentage. However, he is hitting 300 on the year leading off. Probably 3 for 10 as the sample size in this baseball season still has yet to really expand itself.
Yeah, he hasn't seen a lot of action so far. Not the full-time first baseman for the Chippewas.
So Jaskey looks in. The first pitch of the at-bat is taken low and off the plate outside for a ball. Fields letting that one go by, not really tempted to lift that bat off his shoulder.
We will give credit to Fields for the nice backhanded stop earlier this game, flashing the leather out there.
The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss by Fields. Jaskey pulled the string on him. Fields was way out in front of that breaking ball down in the zone. So now the count moves to 1-1. The windup and the pitch. It is off the plate inside. Fields shaking his leg out of the way. Jaskey falls behind in the count 2-1. Jaskey working quickly on the bump for the Wolverines. Sets, delivers. Pitch golfed high into center field. Not too deep. About routine depth there for Glines, and he settles under, makes the catch. The first out of the inning is an easy one for Jaskey.
And Jaskey's able to turn Fields over there, get him to loft it up in the air, and easy can of corn for Jackson Glines out there in center field.
I guess you could call it a can of maize for the maize and blue out there in their almost all white alternate uniforms. That'll bring up the lefty, Zach McKinstry. The first pitch from Jaski in there for a called strike, splits the heart of the plate, and McKinstry hitting 280 on the year, not really tempted to bring the bat off his shoulders here. McKinstry grounded out to first in his first at-bat. The 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball in on the inside corner for a called strike. Jaski quickly ahead in the count, 0-2 on the lefty McKinstry.
And with that, Travis Mazes will retreat at third base. He was on the edge of the infield grass for a possible bunt.
So now the 0-2 pitch from Jaski, a fastball bounces a foot in front of the plate. Lugbauer blocks it, and the count moves to 1-2.
Outfield very shallow all around and shaded towards left field.
That appears to be the scouting report on McKinstry. Jaski looks in, gets the sign, sets, delivers the 1-2 pitch. Just a bit high. We were looking for the home plate ump, James Mullock, to go up with the right hand, but he did not oblige. Count now 2-2. Jaski gets the sign. Readies, delivers, swinging a ground ball back up the middle. Jacobson takes a couple steps to his right, fields it on 2 hops, tosses over to first base. For the out, they got McKinstry by a step. He was really motoring down the line, but Jacobson able to make the routine play routinely. Now 2 outs for the Wolverines here in the top of the fifth, I should say. That'll bring up Joe Houlihan, the third baseman for Central Michigan. He's hitting 279 on the year. A bunt ground out to the pitcher in his first at-bat. First pitch from Jaski is taken in the dirt for ball 1.
As you could really say, the dirt-colored turf. It's all turf out there at this recently renovated Ray Fisher Stadium.
All except the mound, that is. Jaski, the 1-0 pitch is again inside off the plate. Houlihan moves out of the way, jerks quickly out of the way, and the count now 2-0 on Houlihan. And I would call it dirt house, but old habit. I would call it turf, but old habits die hard. I played all my life on dirt as a baseball player, and usually watch games on dirt. The 2-0 pitch is taken for a strike at about the belt high on the outer edge. Houlihan, probably a good pitch to hit there, but did not offer at it.
Mazes will retreat again.
The 2-1 pitch now to Houlihan, taken off the plate outside. Lugbauer tried to frame that one, but could not convince the home plate ump, and now the count moves to 3-1 with 2 outs on Joe Houlihan. Jaski gets the sign, looks in. The 3-1 pitch, called strike on the inside corner. Jaski comes back in there with the fastball, and the count moves full on Houlihan.
Yeah, it really wasn't much that Houlihan could have done with that one, even if he had swung. Good pitch there.
So now the payoff pitch, 3-2 count. Jaski delivers, swing and a foul ball, chopped foul behind home plate. Off-speed pitch head, Houlihan off balance, but he just did enough to extend the at-bat. So again, we're ready with the 3-2 pitch. Jaski looks in, gets the sign, delivers. Swinging a hot shot right of short. Mazes makes a sliding stop, throws across his body over to first, leaping and then making the tag is Cronenworth over at first base. Sorry, that was Bivens at short who made the play for the Wolverines. His throw high. Cronenworth able to corral and make the tag, make the play, and the Wolverines get out of that inning with a 1-2-3 inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th with a 3-0 lead over the Central Michigan Chippewas.
Another nice play in the field by the freshman Jake Bivens. He's really impressed. Not quite the same hitter that Travis Mazes can be. Not quite the same speed in the base paths, but really showing in the field that he's just as reliable of a fielder, if not more, as Mazes has been out with injury. But even as he returns, Bivens will continue to get significant playing time if he continues to play as well as he has, showing just that in the game yesterday as well. Some fine pieces of leather work while out in the field.
I have to say, I think that slide over there at short was a bit unnecessary and perhaps threw him off for his throw over to first base. It was not an easy play, but one that he should have made more routinely than did. So perhaps we might see him change position. Maybe he and Mazes will swap their areas at short and third if Bivens, can't quite flash the leather as effectively at short as we have seen out of Travis Mazes. But as of now, he has held his own, and he will get a chance to show his stuff on the other end of the game as he is going to hit second this inning.
Yeah, that's something I expect to see definitely in the future, but probably not in this game. Mazes trying to settle back in there, not take quite as many ground balls over there third base. Obviously, it depends on the game, but Mays is still trying to get settled in. And when Jacobson, Mazes, and Bivens, you have 3 quality fielders that you can really deploy all over that middle infield and even at the corners when necessary.
Yeah, that flexibility, a good thing to have for Coach Bakich, and I'm sure he relishes that ability, and I'm sure he's relishing this 3-0 lead on this beautiful day here at Ray Fisher. Cronenworth steps in against Markle. The first pitch to him is a breaking ball inside and high. Cronenworth lets that one go by for ball 1. Jacob Cronenworth 0 for 1 today with a walk in the 3rd inning. Markle comes set, delivers the 1-0 pitch, is taken low for a ball. The count now 2-0 on Cronenworth, hitting .309 on the year, 344 while leading off the inning.
Houlihan right on the edge of that infield turf.
2-0 pitch is belted high, deep in right field, hooking down the line, and that ball is fair, and that ball is gone. A solo home run for Jacob Cronenworth, leading off the bottom of the 5th, and the Wolverines now lead the Central Michigan Chippewas 4-0. What a drive there from Jacob Cronenworth.
2 home runs in 2 days for Jacob Cronenworth. It could not get any better. That one did not look like it was going to stay fair, but indeed it did. Just staying inside of that right field foul pole. Another big shot to right field for the lefty. He's pulled 2 big flies out there these past 2 days. Impressive performance by the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, the leadoff man not getting on base, but doing one step better, getting all the way around the bases and depositing that one from Markle over the fence. Markle has definitely struggled in today's outing. And that'll bring up Bivens. Bivens squares to bunt, offers at it, and misses. Try to slap that one down the 3rd baseline. Bivens 0 for 2 on the day today. Now behind in the count 0-1 against the lefty Markle. Markle comes set. The 0-1 pitch is a curveball taken inside off the plate. Bivens turning his body out of the way and letting that one go by, and the count now evens at 1-1 for the lefty Bivens.
Chippewas do have another lefty warming up out there. I believe it's Josh Pierce.
Bivens swings at the 1-1 pitch, chops it towards second base. McKenzie fields that one easily and tosses over to first for the first out of the inning. So Bivens 0 for 3 on today's game, and that'll bring up Jackson Glines, who has yet to record an official at-bat. He has walked in both of his plate appearances for the Wolverines. His walk part of that big 4th inning for the Wolverines last inning. Looking to maybe do some damage swinging the bat here in this one against Markle. The infield has him shaded to pole. The 3rd baseman, Houlihan, on the edge of the grass, well off the 3rd base line. Markle comes set, looks in, delivers. Swinging a high fly ball, hit pretty deep toward right field, but Regner takes a few steps back, settles under it, and makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. Glines got very good aluminum on that ball, but not quite home run power and not quite the right spot up the gap to have that one fall for a base hit. So that will bring up Carmen Benedetti. Benedetti 1 for 2 on today's game. He singled Glines over to 3rd in his last at-bat. Go ahead.
I also had that nice piece of fielding out there in right field, deployed all over the field for this Wolverines squad, and he has been flexible and getting a nice play out there on a foul fly, just a few steps away from that right field wall.
First pitch from Markle, a curveball called strike on the inside corner. Markle now comes set. Ready's the 0-1 pitch to Benedetti, a curveball again. This one off the plate inside. Benedetti lets it go by. Not exactly tempted by a ball that starts out of the hand looking like it's going to hit you. So the count even at 1-1 on Benedetti. Markle working quickly, looks in, delivers fastball, called strike on the outside corner. That one a little bit of 2-seam action, and maybe a questionable call there by home plate ump Jake Mullick, but good framing by Hunty nonetheless. Count now 1-2 on Benedetti, hitting with no one on and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And now time called by Benedetti as he steps out and readjusts his batting gloves.
In his past plate appearance, Benedetti came up there and had something go in his eye. Had to call time. Looked like maybe a bug or something like that.
The 1-2 pitch from Markle, swinging a chopper toward the right side. Fielded on a couple hops by Fields. He will make the play himself over at first base, and that'll do it for the Wolverines in the bottom of the 5th inning. Didn't get a lot going, but they started the inning with a spark thanks to the leadoff home run by Jacob Cronenworth. So we will head to the top of the 6th inning with the Michigan Wolverines leading the Central Michigan Chippewas 4-0. And we will see Oliver Jaske back on the bump for the Wolverines to start this 6th inning. What do you think of what you've seen out of him so far?
I've really liked what I've seen out of this young left-hander. He's thrown his power stuff, still trying to get a hold of that breaking ball, much like we saw out of the starter, Jace Vancina, but a little more consistent than Vancina was. And I expect to see him, this perhaps maybe his last inning, maybe get one more in there, but very impressed what I've seen out of here. Only one hit so far, no strikeouts, but also no walks. Has done a good job loading base runners against this, well, not potent Chippewas lineup, still a very solid performer.
Yeah, it would be nice for the Wolverines if they could send 3 guys to the mound, each throwing 3 scoreless innings. And, well, we're a little more than halfway there here at Ray Fisher, and we couldn't ask for a better day for a baseball game. And I don't think we could ask for a much better performance out of the Wolverines so far. They've been sound fundamentally on both ends today, and as a result, they have that 4-0 lead against their cross-state rivals, the Chippewas.
Yeah, Wolverines will get a chance to play all across the state of Michigan, facing off with the Spartans in that big matchup coming up April 14th from Comerica Park, the home of the Detroit Tigers, as well as also facing off with Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan, and other squads throughout the school throughout this Michigan baseball season.
So we're about ready to start the top of the 6th. Up to the plate is the lefty Alex Borglin for Central Michigan. The first pitch from Jaske is in there for a called strike, about thigh high, right over the middle. Borglin not opting for an aggressive approach, lets that one go by. Jaske, a quick worker on the mound today, comes set. The 0-1 pitch is a curveball taken in the dirt off the plate outside for ball 1. The count now even at 1-1 here on Borglin.
Borglin 0 for 2 in the day. Strikeout in that first inning.
Infield has him shaded at normal depth. Third baseman Mazes in on the grass. The 1-1 pitch is lined high into the left center field gap, and that one will be set. It'll settle in the glove of Jackson Glines, who snags that one with the basket. And I think he dropped that one, actually. Wow.
Yeah, had quite a long run there, and looked like he was going to make a basket catch, but that one just looked like it hit off the palm of his glove and just popped out of there. And that will be we'll see if that's a ruled an error or a double. That looked like the initial call is that is ruled a hit. So leadoff hit for the Chippewas here.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed out of Borglin. That ball had some nasty tail away from him into the gap, but that's still a play that you think Jackson Glines probably thinks he should have made.
Definitely a very good center fielder out there. Rare mistake.
So Jaske delivers that one in the dirt to McKenzie, who squared to bunt but pulled back. McKenzie 0 for 0 has been hit with a couple of pitches in his first 2 at-bats, and now will probably look to move Borglin over to third base with a bunt. So Jaske comes set, delivers home. Squaring to bunt is McKenzie, but he'll let that one go by. The count now 2-0. Perhaps we'll see McKenzie look to swing now that he's going to get a good pitch. Yeah,
I'd give him the green light here. 2-0, runner in scoring position, nobody out.
We will see how bold Central Michigan will get with this. 2-0 pitch comes in. McKenzie again squares to bunt, puts it down the third baseline. That ball rolling foul. Mazes wisely backs off and lets that one tail down the third baseline and outside the third baseline. The count now 2-1 on the lefty McKenzie.
I thought that one perhaps was going to stay fair, but Mazes is wiser and had a much better look, to be fair, than I did. And smart play there allows it to go foul, and we'll reset here.
I don't really get the decision to sacrifice bunt down 4, maybe in a 1 or 2 run game where every run is really valuable. You do that, but adding an out to get a runner over to third, it doesn't really seem like it bodes well for a big inning, which Central Michigan needs. Now the 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed by McKenzie. No more bunting here for the Chippewas with no outs. And Borglin over at second base. The count now 2-2 on the lefty McKenzie.
And perhaps in the decision making, you have to consider the excellent speed of Pat McKenzie, 10 of 13 on steals on the year. And if Mazes had picked that one up, I don't think he would have gotten McKenzie. Very good bunt, but just a little bit too far to the left.
The 2-2 pitch off the plate inside from Jaske, and the count now moves full McKenzie leading the country in walks this year and has gotten a couple free bases today. Looks to extend that.
Yeah, Jaski tried to join on the party of hitting Pat McKenzie. That seems to be the theme of the Wolverines pitches today. Almost got in the party there, but runs the count full.
Now Jaski comes in with the 3-2 pitch. It is swung on and fouled high toward the left side and well out of play. That will bounce off of the roof of a truck and into the parking lot beyond the confines of Ray Fisher.
Count remains full.
So we're about ready to reset here.
Wolverines shaded just a little bit to left field.
Jaski comes set. Looks in, the 3-2 pitch is off the plate inside, and Pat McKenzie, he's got a knack for it, heads down to first base with a free base. First two runners are on base here with no outs in the top of the sixth inning for these Chippewas, and that will bring up the number 3 hitter, Tyler Hunty. Hunty 0 for 2 on the day for Central Michigan. Only hitting .231 on the year, but he's got some power numbers, 2 homers and 15 RBI on the year for these Chippewas.
And we'll see 2 Wolverines warming up. Mac Loja, who got some action yesterday, and Michael Hendrickson, who was up earlier today and then went cooled back down and now is back up warming up again. So a righty and a lefty warming up for the Wolverines.
Chances to take advantage of either matchup as Jaski grooves the first pitch over the heart of the plate for a called strike. Hunty behind in the count 0-1 has been battling from behind in the count pretty much all day. Jaski comes set, the 0-1 pitch, a curveball well off the plate outside. Lugbar has to take a step, slide over to stop that one. Borglund down at second base, McKenzie at first. McKenzie maybe a threat to steal if he were on the bases by himself, but now with runners on first and second. With Hunty in a slump, do you think that maybe they would look to bunt over the runners?
Well, based on the Chippewas, they do have somewhat of a small ball strategy. I think they could. Do I think it's the wise idea? No, but they quite possibly could here.
Hunty calls time, steps out, gets his bearings, now back into the batter's box. Jaski comes set on the hill. The 1-1 pitch is a fastball in the dirt. Lugbauer pounces all over that one. Runners will not be able to move up there. Lugbauer doing a good job of keeping the ball in front of him, and the count now 2-1 on Hunty. Jaski taking his time, mixing up the timing of his delivery to home plate to keep these runners close. Comes set, looks and delivers the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Hunty really got his strings pulled on that one. An awkward-looking big rip that didn't appear to be anywhere near the ball. So now the count moves to 2-2. Jaski, no strikeouts on the day, could really use one right now. The 2-2 pitch to Hunty. Fastball called. Strike 3 on the inside corner. Hunty cannot break out of the slump that he is in for the Central Michigan Chippewas. And a big out there for Jaski. 1 out now with 2 on, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Logan Regner.
Still only 1 out here for the Chippewas. Still a threat here, but big strikeout there out of Oliver Jaski. Just when you need it, just when the Chippewas are starting to get a threat growing. Exactly what you're looking for out of your young left-hander.
So the lefty Jaski now facing the lefty Regner. Regner with the first hit of the game for the Chippewas in his last at-bat. He singled to left field off of Jaski. So Jaski comes set, delivers to the plate. Breaking ball in there at the knees on the inside corner for a called strike. Jaski again ahead in the count to Logan Regner. Regner hitting .356 now on the year. 4:05 with runners in scoring position. 2 on, 1 out for Central Michigan. And that pitch is lined right into the waiting glove of Jacobson over at second base. Makes the catch, tosses over to second to try to double up Borglund, but Borglund, a wise base runner, got back in there safely. So after giving up giving up bases to the first 2 batters he faced, Jaski has quickly recorded 2 outs on the 3 and 4 hitters for the Chippewas, and that will bring up the righty, Daniel Jipping, with 2 outs.
Yeah, I think what actually might have happened there is there was a brief call of the infield fly roll. It wasn't really much of a fly, but it looked like Jacobson purposely caught that one and then kind of dropped it back down. But the infield fly roll had already been called by second base umpire Perry Costello. So he was trying to get a double play there. Perry Costello is having none of it, and we'll get a second out of the inning.
It's a savvy play and requires some quick quick thinking, but I don't think these umps are going to allow those kinds of shenanigans. And now it looks like Coach Bakich will stroll out there to the mound. Wolverines with some pitchers warming up in the bullpen. Bakich looking in that direction. You think this is a pep talk, or do you think this is taking the mound, taking the ball from Jaski?
I think it's taking the ball from Jaski. It looks like it will be Mac Lozier coming in for the second straight day. He had a good performance yesterday in a limited outing. So Oliver Jaski, despite giving up those first 2 runners, will not have the chance to close this thing off. He did get 2 big outs there. And it looks like Mac Lozier will try and close down this rally, getting a hearty round of applause from this Wolverine squad.
Yeah, Jaski's final numbers out of the on the day, pending the 2 runners he has left on first and second base. 2 2/3 innings pitched with 1 strikeout and I believe 1 or 2 walks. No earned runs if Lozier can retire Jipping or prevent runs from being scored in any fashion this inning. Mac Lozier has thrown 6 1/3 innings this year. He's given up 2 earned runs in that time. He's walked 5 and struck out 7.
Yeah, Lozier with a very brief outing yesterday came in to finish off that 6th inning when Ogden Wysocki ran into a little bit of trouble. Came in, recorded the final out of that inning with a strikeout in his only batter face. Got that man to go down and get out of that inning, and he's fresh, ready to go again today after only throwing 5 pitches. So he could come in for another brief outing today, try and get 1 strikeout of the big man Daniel Jipping, and perhaps we'll see him stay out there or just rest up for that big series against Indiana this weekend.
Lozier, a righty with a bit of a stocky frame, but despite not exactly having the physical tools of the ideal pitcher, he does have a right arm with some zip to it. He can drill some fastballs in there. We've seen Lozier in relief appearances in years past, too, for these Wolverines.
Yeah, Lozier, the 6'1" righty, 190 pounds sophomore out of Indianapolis, Indiana, home of this year's Final Four for men's basketball. And we saw a little bit out of him so far. A lot of appearances he's used very frequently as just kind of the 1 or 2 out guy, try and come in and get that big strikeout. 1 inning against Maryland before that 1/3 inning appearance yesterday against Toledo.
And all the Wolverines need right here is 1 out. They're bringing him in for maybe a more favorable righty-righty matchup against the designated hitter Daniel Jipping. Jipping hasn't done much today. He grounded into a double play in his most recent at-bat. That to go with a walk in the 2nd inning is the extent of his contributions to today's cause for the Chippewas. So Lozier about ready to get underway here. We are in the top of the 6th. Michigan leading the Central Michigan Chippewas 4-0. Jipping up to the plate with Borglin on second and McKenzie on first base and 2 outs. Lozier will be pitching from the stretch. Gets his sign. Comes set. The first pitch to Lozier is a breaking ball off the plate outside. Behind in the count to Jipping.
Both runners on base have good speed. In particular, Pat McKenzie standing on first base. If Jipping's able to get something in the hole, wouldn't be surprised to see McKenzie score from first base.
Lozier comes set. Looks in. The 1-0 pitch is a curveball in there for a called strike at the knees. Jipping wasn't looking for one there. Looked like he was ready to pounce all over a fastball. The outfield has him shaded, while Glines and Benedetti are several steps in from their normal positions. Bruder at normal depth in left field. 1-1 count on Jipping. Lozier looks in, delivers. Curveball high and out of the zone. Crossed the plate at about chest high. And the count now 2-1 on Daniel Jipping. Jipping with 3 home runs. The leader, at least in this lineup, on the year for the Central Michigan Chippewas in that category. 2-1 count on Jipping. Lozier comes set. Delivers. Finds the middle of the plate there for strike 2. Looked like another off-speed pitch. And the count now 2-2 on Daniel Jipping. Lozier taking his time, holding the runners. Although the infielders, Bivens and Jacobson, not paying much mind to Borglin over at second. Lozier readies. Comes set, the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. A bit of a fist pump out there from Lozier as he works the Wolverines out of a bit of a jam, and the Wolverines able to keep the Central Michigan Chippewas scoreless through 6 innings. We head to the bottom of the 6th with the Michigan Wolverines leading Central Michigan 4-0.
And after a rough start to the inning, gave up that double that perhaps Jackson Glines should have got to. It came out of his glove. And then a walk by Patrick McKenzie, the nation's leader in walks. So first and second, nobody out, but the Wolverines able to come up with 3 big outs, the strikeout, the line out, and then another strikeout. Matt Lozier done it exactly what he was brought in to do, get a big strikeout. He's served in that role well all year long for the Wolverines, and that could be in the day for Lozier, but I think that'll suit him fine. Just get in there in appearance. Maybe we'll see him out there again, but perhaps give Michael Hendrickson another look out there as we start the 7th inning coming up in just a few. But first, the bottom of the 6th for the Wolverines, Cody Bruder stepping to the plate for the Wolverines.
And Mac Lozier, in effect, a bit of a mercenary out of the pen for the Wolverines, comes out, gets a strikeout, and that might be it for him on the day. We're going to update you with some Big Ten scores from across the country. Right now in the bottom of the 8th, Monmouth is beating Rutgers 5-2. Rutgers doing the Big Ten proud there. Iowa beating Western Illinois 3-0. That game is in the bottom of the 4th. And Maryland beating James Madison 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th.
Still to come, Western Michigan travels to Northwestern. IPFW will face off against Purdue. Michigan State will visit their in-state rivals just a little bit away from here in Ypsilanti, Eastern Michigan. Kent State will travel to Happy Valley to face off with the Penn State Nittany Lions, and Nebraska will face off with Nebraska Omaha. So lots of out-of-conference play for the Big Ten teams before getting back into Big Ten action this weekend. The Wolverines will travel to Bloomington, Indiana for a big-time series with last year's regular season and conference tournament Big Ten champs.
But, of course, none of those games matter because they are not this broadcast right here, right now, and Cody Bruder steps up to the plate against the lefty, Josh Pierce, for the Central Michigan Chippewas, and he grounds one on the first pitch over to second. That'll be a routine play for McKenzie.
And new pitcher, Josh Pierce, for the Central Michigan Chippewas.
And now that will bring up Travis Mazes, the lefty for the Wolverines. Had a 2-run single in his last at-bat, a ground ball through the right side. Walked in his first plate appearance, so Mazes perfect since returning from injury. We'll see how long that's going to last as he is now facing a lefty-lefty matchup with Josh Pierce. Pierce readies. His first pitch is well off the plate outside. Josh Pierce 0-1 on the year with a 4.85 ERA. He's thrown 13 innings, walking 4 and striking out 6. He's also given up a pair of home runs. Pierce looks in with the 1-0 pitch. That one off the plate inside. Mazes with an upper body turn out of the way. Let that one sail by. The count moves to 2-0 on the captain, Mazes. The lefty Pierce stands tall out there on the mound, delivers from the stretch. The 2-0 pitch off speed in there for a called strike. Came back with the changeup, and Mazes looked tempted on that one, but unable to pull the string. Count now 2-1 on the third baseman, Mazes. Infield and outfield shaded at about normal depth. The pitch is taken low for ball 3. That one in the dirt, blocked well by Hunty. So Mazes will see a pitch to hit here. Pierce appears to be avoiding the fastball for the most part against these Michigan hitters. The 3-1 pitch is a fastball off the plate inside for ball 4, and Mazes trots down to first base with a 1-out walk.
And I thought maybe you would jinx Mazes, see if he was going to end his perfect streak right as you mentioned it. But ever since returning from injury, he's had a great day so far. 2 walks, also with that big hit, and came around to score. So great day out of Travis Mazes. He now hits the base pass, perhaps looking to move up here with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning.
The Wolverines not afraid to put him in motion. Jusic grounded out in his last at-bat on a hit and run. Jusic, the lefty, facing the lefty, Pierce. And Pierce throws over to first base, keeping an eye on Mazes over there, but Mazes back there with ease as Zach Field continues to hold him at first base. Outfield at normal depth against Jusic. Pierce comes set on the mound and then delivers back over to first base, where Mazes is back in standing up.
Jusic got the started DH yesterday before moving to first base when Carmen Benedetti came in to pitch, then came in as a pinch hitter for Kevin White and sits in the DH spot here today.
And now he swings on that pitch, drives it high in the air, deep into right field. The right fielder going back and will make the catch on the track. That one, a lot of power out of the bat of Kyle Jusic. Got up in the air, and for a second, I thought just maybe it might clear the fence, but Regner able to settle under it on the track and just record a long second out.
Yeah, I thought that one was maybe out of here right off the bat, but in the end, just not enough juice from Kyle Jusic.
Houseman, I'm going to punch you if you keep that up. That's the second time in as many at-bats. It's enough. You're going to lose us, all of our listeners, all 27 of them. And now a pickoff move over to first base. Pierce with a quick step off the back of the rubber. Mazes slides in there safely.
And we'll remind you, you're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Houseman alongside Morris Fabry.
Pierce again throws over to first base. It seems like he's thrown more balls to first base than he has to home plate here in this bottom of the sixth. Drew Lugbauer at the plate for the Wolverines. Yet to see a pitch in this at-bat, but he hit an RBI single on a full count in his last plate appearance. Pierce looks in. The first pitch to Lugbauer is taken for a ball high and off the plate outside.
Great patience by the freshman in his last at-bat. Had some pitches to hit. Had a lot of pitches out of the zone. The count ran full, and he was able to pull one over into right field and score a run.
The 1-0 pitch to Lugbauer is a breaking ball just off the plate outside. Hunty, the catcher, held that one for an extra beat, but could not convince the home plate ump to go up with the right hand. Lugbauer again ahead in the count 2-0, showing that same kind of patience in this at-bat. Waiting on deck for the Wolverines is the second baseman Jacobson. Pierce again throws over to first base, and again Mays is back in there standing up. Pierce playing a nice game of catch over there with Fields in the middle of this baseball game.
You know what? It's a midweek game chance to work on some things. He's really trying to work out his pickoff. That's what he's been doing.
Fastball lined past the diving second baseman McKenzie and into right field for a base hit. Another hit for Lugbauer. Moving over to second base on that one is Mazes. And so the Wolverines starting a bit of a rally here with 2 outs. Eric Jacobson up to the plate looking to add to the Wolverines' 4-run tally.
Back-to-back solid pieces of hitting by Drew Lugbauer. Both times he's pulled it, got into the right field. Hasn't tried to do too much, hasn't tried to lift it or drive it to the gap, but take what the pitcher has given him, and really back-to-back good pieces of hitting by the freshman.
Now Eric Jacobson, the righty, up to the plate for the Wolverines. Popped out to foul to first in his last at-bat. The first pitch to him will be taken in the dirt for a ball. Hunty doing a good job of blocking that one and getting up in his stance very quickly. Mays is not showing any desire to move down to third on that one anyway.
Yeah, Jacobson, kind of surprised he's still in the ballgame. He has not looked good in his 2 at-bats. 3 whiffs in a row on his K. Struck out on 3 pitches before a weak foul fly out his last at-bat.
The 1-0 pitch from Pierce is a off-speed pitch in there for a called strike, about belt high on the outer half, and looking like the type of pitch that maybe you would want to see in a 1-0 count, but Jacobson not offering at it. He has gotten the job done with the glove in routine plays in today's game, though, so maybe the Wolverines are at least getting that out of him. 1-1 count. Pierce comes set. Looks and delivers to home plate. Jacobson with a swing and a pop-up foul. That one headed toward the screen and hits the lower part of the screen and bounces back onto the field. So 2 strikes now on Jacobson, who again looked off balance on that swing. Jacobson is hitting .300 on the year for the Wolverines, but today not looking great at the plate.
And kind of surprised by the lack of hustle there by the new catcher, Robert Greenman. He's coming to this game for Hunty.
Good spot there, Andrews. So Central Michigan heading to their bench a little bit as this game moves on. The count 1-2 on Jacobson with 2 on and 2 out. The pitch from Pierce, swinging a line shot into left field, moving over there and making the catch on the run is the left fielder, Cody Bradley. And that will do it for the bottom of the 6th for these Wolverines. They get a couple runners on, and Jacobson got maybe his best swing of the day there. Got a good part of the bat on the ball, but not able to find a gap in the outfield. So we will head to the top of the 7th with the Michigan Wolverines leading 4-0 over the Central Michigan Chippewas.
Yeah, at least a solid piece of conduct by Eric Jacobson. Just a little bit out in front, pulls that one to the left field, and we've seen that a lot by these Wolverines, just having to square up these Chippewas pitchers, and Wolverines had an opportunity to add to their lead there, unable to do so. But we will move to the top of the 7th inning. New pitcher for the Wolverines, Michael Hendrickson, coming in. This pitching change is brought to you by the Daily Sports Report. You can listen in Monday through Thursday, 6 to 6:30 p.m. And if you weren't listening to this broadcast, you can make sure you can tune in 15 minutes. That show will tip off at 88.3 FM. You can listen on the WCBN Player app. You can listen on WCBN.org, TuneIn Radio. Plenty of ways to listen as Michigan's finest students discuss all updates of Michigan sports and more on the Daily Sports Report, Monday through Thursday, 6 to 6:30.
I'd say Michigan's finest students is a bit of a stretch when we let people like that rapscallion Zach Shaw on our show.
Yeah, we'll need to let him know that he was called out on back-to-back broadcasts for his poor academic, not even poor academic record, but
his antics.
But anyway,
aside from Zach Shaw, Michigan's finest on the Daily Sports
Michigan's
Report.
finest minus Zach Shaw. Anyway, new pitcher Michael Hendrickson, the freshman lefty out of Saline, Michigan, literally just down the road. You can get to it in about 10 minutes by driving down Ann Arbor Saline Road. He's coming in. He is sporting a 6.17 ERA in the year, giving up almost 2 hits and walks for every innings pitched. Not the best performance so far, giving up 11 hits and 8 runs, all earned in 11 2/3 innings so far. 13 Ks, so he is known as a live arm, a strikeout pitcher, but also a story with his command. 8 walks, 3 extra base hits, all of those doubles.
Well, we don't get ad money over at WCBN Sports, so we don't get advertisements. So this is what you get in between innings. You can donate to us if you want us to shut up and talk more about baseball between innings. But for now, we're just having fun on the mic. So Hendrickson, this inning, will face the left fielder, Colton Bradley, who made a nice running catch at the end of last inning. He'll be followed by the righty, Zach Fields, and then Zach McKinstry if the lineups hold for the Central Michigan Chippewas.
And Colton Bradley will dig into that right-handed batter's box. 0 for 1 on the day. Also with a sacrifice in his first time at the plate, excuse me. Here's the delivery from Hendrickson. That one's a strike. Pours the fastball in there. Count goes to 0-1.
Bradley on the day, 0 for 2. Well, 0 for 1 with a sac bunt, I should say. He has yet to reach base, though.
0-1 pitch. Right in the same spot. Another fastball in there. Quickly 0-2. Mazes will retreat. He was perched on the edge of that infield turf, expecting a possible bunt. He will back up. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him waving on the changeup. It was outside. And a leadoff strikeout here from Michael Hendrickson.
Good work there from Hendrickson, working both sides of the plate, going outside, then inside, and then back off the plate outside there. And Colton Bradley got his eye level changed and frankly was not too happy with it.
And stepping to the plate will be Zach Fields, the righty. Here's the first pitch. That one's fouled off right into the leg of Lugbauer.
Hendrickson's got a live arm, as you said, and really these pitches do appear to be having a lot of late break to them. And he's spotting them well. That one right on the inside corner at the knees. Fields could do nothing with it.
Fields 0 for 2 on the day, looking to reach base for the first time. Waiting for the 0-1. Here it is. That one's low and inside. Evens the count at 1-1.
Looked like a slider trying to get in on the hands of Fields there, but maybe missed the target off the plate inside. Maybe he wanted to throw it off the plate inside.
1-1 pitch. That one skips away from Lugbauer. Right into the dirt-colored turf. 2-1.
Hendrickson not afraid to come inside with the breaking stuff, but now with a 2-1 count, maybe he's going to have to adjust his approach to the righty Fields.
Here comes the 2-1 delivery. That one just misses high and inside. 3-1 hitters count for Zach Fields. Only hitting 121 on the year, but trying to do some damage. When he does hit it, only 4 hits on the year, but 2 of those doubles, so he does have some pop in that bat. 3-1 pitch. That one's line to right field over the head of Carmen Benedetti. He will play it off the wall. He'll fire into second base. but the throw will not be in time. Zach Fields will get there standing up. The throw got away from Jake Bivens covering second base, but good backup play by Mazes to back that one up and prevent Fields from advancing any further. Benedetti looked a little lost in that one. I thought he could have maybe got to that one, but not a lot of hustle right off the bat.
Yeah, it was a rocket off the bat of Fields with a lot of tail on it, too. It looked like Benedetti turned over the wrong shoulder as he went to chase after that one. It bounced off the wall well to the right of where he was headed.
Yeah, it looked like Fields called a different play than Benedetti was expecting, and miscommunication there if it was a quarterback wide receiver duo, but that's exactly what Fields was looking for, and now he's standing on second base.
And that'll bring up Zach McKinstry. McKinstry 0 for 2 on the day, and the outfield and infield have him shaded in. Not a lot of pop in this bat.
0-1 pitch. That one misses high. Fields standing on second base. Not a base stealing threat. He's 0 for 0 on the year. Big boy. Not looking to steal third base. Wolverines not covering with him. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. We are here in the top of the 7th. Wolverines lead 4-0. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball on the outside corner. Gets in there for a strike.
Hendrickson not afraid to get into the strike zone here against McKinstry. Got behind in the count to Fields and had to give him something to hit, and that's why Fields is sitting there on second base and Henderson working with runners on now.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one's fouled off right into the netting. Nifty play there by one of the Wolverines of the dugout. Looked like it might have been Hector Gutierrez. Excuse me, that is incorrect. Oh, it is correct. There we go.
Wow, good call, House.
Thought I could recognize him. Believe I've met him once or twice through a mutual friend. Nice guy there, and hoping to get some action. One of the backup players, but looking to develop for the future on the bench. Still 1-2 on Zach McKinstry. Hendrickson taking a long look in. Now he'll step off the mound as McKinstry calls time. Now he'll dig back in, waiting for the 1-2 pitch. Hendrickson comes set. Here's the 1-2. That one's in the dirt. Tries to get McKinstry to chase, but no such luck.
Yeah,
evens the count of 2-2.
Came in there with a breaking ball, and that one started off the plate outside. Never had a chance of coming back over the plate. Hendrickson's going to have to be a little bit more convincing with his bait if he wants McKinstry to go after it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, I expect only heat from Hendrickson here as the count is now even at 2-2. Don't want to go full count. 2-2 pitch. That was a fastball, but that one's fouled away. Defensive swing there by McKinstry, just able to chip it foul into the Yost Ice Arena parking lot.
Yeah, that one tailing off the plate outside. McKinstry able to really lunge and throw that bat out across the plate to keep the at-bat alive.
Wolverines outfielders all take a few more steps in. Very shallow on McKinstry. 2-2 pitch. That one's ripped foul again. Showing a little bit of pop, but too late on that fastball. Count remains even at 2-2. Field standing on second base. Wolverines very shallow, shaded to left field in the outfield. Waiting for the 2-2 pitch. Henderson texts the runner. 2-2 pitch. That one's grounded to second base. Jacobson coming over. He'll field it, and it will have no play. Fields will move up to third base, and McKinstry will reach on an infield single. So despite the lack of pop in his bat, very quick freshman will reach an infield single. And now runners in the corner is only 1 out for the Chippewas.
The outfield was shading McKinstry in, but the infield was at about normal depth. And that one, a good pitch by Hendrickson in on the hands of McKinstry. Couldn't do anything with it, just hit a slow roller to Jacobson. But McKinstry has a lot of speed. We saw him almost beat out a routine ground ball earlier in this game. And the ball kind of settled in no man's land. Jacobson did not have a play.
And now Joe Houlihan steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Takes the first one for a strike. He'll step out, get the signs from his third base coach. Now dig back in. Runners in the corner, 1 out for the Chippewas. We're here in the top of the 7th. Wolverines lead 4-0. Delivery from Hendrickson. Breaking ball misses outside. Evens the count at 1-1.
Trying to backdoor the right-handed hitter Houlihan with that breaking ball, but just missed off the plate and hung that one up in the zone a little bit too.
Kinstry on first, Fields on third. Houlihan digs in that right-handed batter's box, waiting for the 1-1 delivery, and instead Hendrickson will throw over to first base. McKinstry, obviously the quicker runner of these two.
A quick runner is McKinstry, and he's 4 of 4 on his stolen base attempts this year. I'm a little bit surprised he has not had more of those.
1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. He crossed him up there. No chance for Joe Houlihan. He looked lost on that one.
Breaking ball down in the zone, just dropped right off of the table for Houlihan, who now is behind in the count 1-2. And, maybe McKinstry is the type who is a fast runner, but not the best base runner.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of Jackson Glines, a fast player, but not quite trained in the art of base stealing yet. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one's ripped right back up the middle. Steps on second, relay to first. What a play by Jake Bivens. The freshman continues to showcase his leather in the field, makes the routine double play, and that gets the Wolverines out of a jam. Runners the corners with the 1 out, but they get out of it. No runs allowed. Hendrickson gets out of it. We head to the bottom of the 7th. The Wolverines lead 4-0. You're listening to WCBN Sports Broadcast of Michigan Baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Morris Fabry.
It wasn't that impressive, House. I mean, it was still a nice play from Bivens, fielding the 2-chopper pretty easily. It bounced right into his glove as he crossed second base. That was a tailor-made double play, hit to the exact perfect spot, and to his credit, was able to make an off-balance throw coming off of his right foot over to first base. The Wolverines grateful to get out of that inning unscathed. They've been doing so all game today and still have a scoreless, or still have held Central Michigan scoreless.
And you made it sound very routine play, and well, it was not exactly.
Oh, come on, I could have made that play.
All right, Morris, we'll see you get out there and see if they'll offer you a spot on either one of these squads. I don't think that's likely, so that's why you're up in the broadcast booth with me. And what can I say? I'm a big Jake Bivens fan. As we mentioned, he's done a good job filling in for Travis Mazes. Now they're both back in action. And now we'll see a new pitcher coming in for the Central Michigan University Chippewas, Sean Martins. Impressive performance out of Martins so far this year. The 6 foot, 163 pound freshman, not 163 foot.
The 163-foot freshman has a little bit trouble getting the ball over the plate because his height is well beyond the bounds of a normal person's strike zone.
He's about the height of one of these light poles here at Ray Fisher Stadium, which allow these night games to be played. Haven't had any of those here as it's still early spring and want to keep it the warm weather. And that's what we've had so far today. But the slender freshman has had a good year so far. 3-0 on the year, 15 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, only one of those earned, 13 Ks in 15 innings. So just under a strike inning, 8 walks on the year, and no extra base hits allowed. He's been solid. The local native, only about 45 minutes away here from Clarkston. So happy, I'm sure he grew up at least knowing about the Michigan Wolverines and perhaps dreamed of playing them, but he'll get a chance to face off against them in the Chippewas uniform as he faces the top of the order coming up for the Wolverines, Jacob Cronenworth, who just yesterday hit just his last at bat hit his 2nd home run in 2 days, and he's on quite a hot streak now. First pitch misses just outside. Martin's trying to get the fastball in there, but just misses.
Cronenworth looking to give him a warm welcome to this one, the same way he welcomed the lefty Markle.
1-0, same place, and that's 2-0.
Cronenworth ahead in the count on a hot streak. Look for him to get the green light here from Coach Backus, because if he's not getting the green light here, no one is.
Jake Bivens standing on deck. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one's way outside. That split the heart of the right-hander batter's box. Cronenworth batting lefty as always.
Cronenworth with a walk back in the 3rd inning, has 19 walks to go with 12 strikeouts on the season.
3-0 pitch. Cronenworth taking all the way, and that's a called strike on the outside corner. Cronenworth will now look for a pitch to drive here. Here's the 3-1 delivery. That one's ripped right at the Zach Fields. He'll knock it down, pick it up, make the play unassisted, making a backpedaling across the bag. A little nifty play there. He made it look a little more challenging than it needed to be. It was a hard hit ball, but right at him, and he knocked it down and then picked it up before kind of scooting across the first base line before Jacob Cronenworth, a fairly quick runner, could beat it out. and that's the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning for the Wolverines.
Yes, Fields has shown himself to be pretty slick with the leather over at first base for the Chippewas.
Could say he's a good fielder, right, Morris?
No.
And that will bring up Jake Bivens, who just in the past half inning ended the mini Chippewas rally with a double play. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That one's lined into left field, and that will get down for a hit. Running for 2, he'll take a big turn, but he will retreat back to first base. Hard turn, but a nice piece of hitting by Jake Bivens, and he's in there with a 1-out single.
Jake Bivens getting it done on both sides of the ball. I'm sure our WCBN's resident Jake Bivens fan club leader, Andrew Hausman, very pleased with that one.
Well, yesterday, Zach Shaw and I had a running joke that he was having a nice day because he led it off with a very hard hit ball that the Toledo Rockets left fielder made a very nice play on, and after that kept reaching base. So 2 nice days in a row from Jake Bivens, both offensively and defensively. Now here comes Jackson Glines. There's a strike in the outside corner. Evens the count at 1-1. Bivens standing on first base. He's 2 for 4 on steal attempts this year.
Glines 0 for 1 on the day with a couple of walks. His on-base percentage above 500, so odds are he'll do something good here.
Throw over to first. But that one's late, and Bivens able to get back in easily. Wolverines lead here 4-0 in the bottom of 7th. They're out hitting the Chippewas 6-4. Each team with a single error. Martins takes a long look in. Preps for the 1-1 delivery. Here it is. Way outside. That one missed, and the count goes to 2-1.
That looked like a breaking ball out of his right hand that had spin on it, but not a lot of break to it. Just missed through that one, and the catcher Greenman had to slide out of his crouch over there to stop that one.
Lions 0 for 1 on the day, but also 2 walks. And he also came around to score on one of those. So fairly successful day for Glines. 1-1. Check to swing. That one gets away, and Bivens will go down to second base. It appeared that Greenman thought that was a foul tip, but Glines was able to hold out, and that one just got away from Greenman. Greenman came in to the game as a defensive substitution last inning. And that one gets away from him, and that will probably be a passed ball as Bivens will move up to second base in scoring position with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Looked like that one did stay above ground level, just not a very fundamentally sound stop there by Greenman, the catcher, who may have come on the defensive half of the ball, but maybe he's just coming on to get some playing time, not necessarily for his defensive prowess.
2-1 pitch. That one misses low. Greenman holds it for an extra beat, but does not draw the call from Mullock.
Perhaps a better defensive catcher would have done a better job of framing that one.
Morris is very down on Greenman here. 3-1 count here on Jackson Glines. Let's see what he can do with this one. Martins checks the runner. Checks him again. Here's the delivery. That one's chopped on to second base, and that will move up the runner, but Glines will be put out, and that's the second out of the inning. Bivens will move up to third base, and that will leave it up to Carmen Benedetti trying to knock in the freshman and bring him home for the Wolverines' 5th run of the day.
It looked like Fields over at first base could have made that play had he wanted to, but left it up to McKenzie, who was ranging toward his glove side, had maybe an easier play of it, and also a smart play by Martins, doing a textbook job of getting over and covering first base.
Good defensive play all around by the Chippewas, and we will see an intentional walk here of Carmen Benedetti to bring up Cody Bruder.
Benedetti 1 for 3 on the day for the Wolverines, coming off of a pretty hot day yesterday, though, so maybe Central Michigan opting to face at least the less, or, at least a colder hitter maybe, but
I mean, Cody Bruder did hit that absolute bomb yesterday. His first career home run cleared the left field wall right where it starts to come down, but absolute shot yesterday. Interesting decision here. Let's see if Cody Bruder can make them pay for this intentional walk.
Yeah, kind of hard to parse through the motives, but it might just be as simple as trying to face a righty-righty matchup as opposed to a righty-lefty one as Benedetti trots down to first base. The righty Bruder hitting .330 on the year for the Wolverines. He's obviously got some power in his bat.
Yeah, good point there, Morris. The Chippewas have already used 2 lefties in Markle and Pierce, so perhaps not too many lefties available left in that bullpen. They have no one warming up out there. So Martin's expected to at least get through this inning and perhaps another one.
Bruder 0 for 3 on today's game, so maybe, or 0 for 2 with a sac bunt, so perhaps they see his bat as being cold right now. He's going to look to make him pay.
Here comes the first pitch. Swung on and fouled off. Nice snag there.
Nice snag by the on-deck batter, Mazes.
Yeah, excuse me. Good catch there, Morris. And we'll see Bruder step out, get the signs from Coach Baggett, standing on the second step of the Wolverines dugout. 0-1 on Cody Bruder. Bivens leads off third, Benedetti off first, and he'll draw the throw. He's back in there safely.
I got to say, Bruder took a pretty savage cut on that first pitch. I think he's looking to really drive the ball somewhere with power.
Martins comes set. Here's the delivery home. Benedetti is off with the pitch, and he's caught in a rundown. They'll come home now, and he'll be out. Oh, safe at the play. I thought he had him. I don't know how that was not called out. Greenman thought he had him too, but the home plate umpire, James Mullock, will rule him safe. I have no idea how Greenman missed him. He had him by at least 10 feet.
Well, I think what happened was Greenman maybe took a little bit of time in corralling that throw from the second baseman. It was a bit low and couldn't sweep the tag onto Jake Bivens as he slid into home. An aggressive play call for the Wolverines there. The count now 0-2 on Bruder because it was a called strike. But just a lack of execution by Central Michigan gives the Wolverines one more run.
Benedetti was caught on a rundown, but perhaps on purpose to try and drive in that run. That's exactly what he did. Now we'll see a pitch inside. Count goes to 1-2.
Yeah, that was 100% on purpose. Benedetti stopped in the middle of his path towards second base. That was designed to get the run home, and it worked.
Yeah, the Chippewas had Bruder dead in the water, but Greenman unable to apply the tag is third defensive miscue of this inning. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air. Ragnar underneath that one, and he'll make the catch. That'll do it for the Wolverines, but they add on 1. They lead 5-0. We head to the top of the 8th. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. I'm Andrew Hausman alongside Morris Fabry. What can the Chippewas do in their last 2 innings to try and get on the scoreboard and come back in this game?
Well, I think they ought to adopt maybe a little more of a relaxed, conservative approach at the plate because Henderson, thus far, he does have a live arm, as you have said, for the Wolverines, but he does struggle with his control from time to time. And Central Michigan, more than anything else, they need base runners. They need you guys to get on base to start these rallies. They don't need small ball. They need walks. They need hits. And they need more hits. And they need some more hits. I mean, really, that's all it boils down to. Central Michigan, only 4 hits on the game. The bats are going to have to come alive at some point for them to come back in this one.
And Michigan with a very efficient offense today. 5 runs and only 6 hits. They've done a good job converting those walks and the lone Chippewa errors, as well as that late tag by Greenman there to absolutely capitalize on their opportunities. They are 4 of 12 with runners on, 2 of 7 with runners in scoring position.
I think you're being overly critical of Greenman's tag there at home plate. It was also, I think McKenzie took a little bit too long to throw that one home and get Bivens. But also, the biggest mistake there by the catcher, Greenman, might not have been in throwing down to second base, or it might not have been applying the tag, but it might have been in throwing down to second base and not being more aware of the situation. Perhaps a fake throw down to second and then a throw down to third might have gotten Bivens coming from third. Really, that's a play that a lot of teams practice and a lot of teams apply, but I'd say it's more successful than not with base runners, and you would think that defenses would be more equipped to handle that kind of play.
Yeah, Greenman, a little green, a little too young, sophomore out of Shelbyville, Michigan, still showing a little bit of inexperience. Now Borglund will come up to the plate as the Chippewas lineup turns over. He's 1 for 3 on the day, hit a double his last time up. 1-0 pitch. That one's way inside. Almost hit him. 2-0 to start his at-bat.
Borglund with one of the 2 extra base hits today for the Central Michigan Chippewas.
Here comes the 2-0 delivery. Fastball high. Now 3-0.
Borglund exemplifying that conservative plate approach, not even lifting the bat off his shoulder until he sees a strike, and looks like he won't see one.
3-0 misses outside. That's a 4-pitch walk. Not a good sign for Michael Hendrickson. We do see another pitcher alarming up for the Wolverines in their bullpen. Hard to tell who that is. He's holding his glove right in front of his number.
And it's definitely not the start that you want to get off to this inning, especially when guaranteed walk Pat McKenzie steps up to the plate.
Yeah, Pat McKenzie has reached all 3 times today. 2 hit-by pitches and a walk. Leads the nation with now 30 walks, but he'll take a first pitch strike here from Hendrickson. He pours the fastball in.
McKenzie with a short frame and a keen eye has an on-base percentage of near 500 despite a 326 average.
Waiting for the 0-1 pitch. Hendrickson delivers. There's a strike 2. McKenzie quickly behind 0-2.
Hendrickson came in with that slider that he has. It's got some tight break to it. And if he's able to keep it down in the zone, it is an effective pitch for the big lefty.
Cronenworth holding with Borglund at first. Borglund does have some speed. He is a base stealing threat. Not quite the same speed that McKenzie does, but 3 or 4 on steals on the year. 0-2 pitch. That one's chopped right into the hole. And there's a single. Chippewas move up to runners first and second. Borglund goes to second. McKenzie goes to first. He's reached base all 4 plate appearances. Solid day by Pat McKenzie. And Chippewas have a rally getting going here.
And that's a consequence of the Wolverines infield being shaded in double play depth. I think that with the lefty McKenzie up there, Jacobson would have been shaded far more toward the hole had Borglund not been on first base. And those are the types of breaks that start rallies for teams. And now with no outs and 2 on, Greenman comes up to hit.
Morris's favorite, Robert Greenman, he squares to bunt. And Lugbauer popped up real quick out of his stance to try and catch both of the runners off. They had taken a pretty good secondary leads, but they both get back in time as the Wolverines did not rush over to cover either of those bags.
Again, I don't understand the bunt here given the situation, but Hendrickson's got to throw a strike first to make it a bad decision.
And now Coach Eric Bakich will come out and perhaps have a word with Michael Hendrickson, but more likely end his day and signal for Brian Paul in the bullpen. The freshman has had a solid year so far, and we'll perhaps see a different change. It could be Benedetti coming in. We're seeing a lot of different changes. Looks like Johnny Slater is coming off the bench, so we'll see what the Wolverines are doing here. Johnny Slater will be heading to the outfield. We know that for sure. Carmen Benedetti is headed either out of the game or into pitch.
I think Slater brought a glove out there, and that would be a pitcher's glove for Benedetti.
And that will be Benedetti. They will come into pitch. Michael Hendrickson will get a rousing chorus of applause from the sparse crowd here at Ray Fisher Stadium. We encourage all fans listening in to try and get out to a game. Cheap tickets here, great venue, and you can come up and meet us in the press box. We're always happy to talk to our listeners. I encourage you to get out to a game here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Plenty of nice days, plenty of home games coming up. And new pitcher coming in, Carmen Benedetti. He had a nice outing yesterday. He got into a little bit of trouble, but he will come in without much of a warm-up here. We'll see what effect that has on him. He's in a little bit of a jam here. First and second, nobody out. But he pitched 1 inning yesterday, gave up a walk, but also had a strikeout, and was able to get out of that inning with only 18 pitches. So still should have plenty in the tank left for today.
Interesting that Bakich pulled Hendrickson after he had already thrown 1 ball in that at-bat to Greenman. It's not very common that you see a pitcher pulled mid-at-bat, but obviously Bakich didn't like what he had seen out of Hendrickson thus far in the inning, letting the first 2 runners reach. But the guy he brought in, I don't think is quite the type of guy that you would like in this situation. Benedetti has thrown 4.1 innings this year and has given up 1 hit, but he's also walked 5 along with 5 strikeouts. So really kind of a boom or bust move here, as Benedetti is a guy who struggles with control but has a live arm.
And Benedetti showed both aspects of that in his outing yesterday. Did give up that walk, ran into a little bit of trouble yesterday, but was able to end up getting out of that inning okay. He came up after Donnie Eaton had run into a little bit of trouble, gave up that hit, then gave up a walk, and Toledo Rockets were starting to threaten, but Carmen Benedetti able to get out of that inning okay, and he still is ready to go. And Brian Paul still warming up in the bullpen. He also pitched yesterday. So we'll see if Benedetti has a relatively short leash here with Paul also warming up.
Greenman only 3 for 8 on the year. Doesn't see a lot of time behind the plate, but with Hunty in a slump, perhaps now is the time to go for the guy off the bench.
And he'll inherit the 1-0 count. Here's the 1-0. That one's lifted high in the air. Bivens coming underneath it. Right at, and now it'll be Eric Jacobson. Infield fly rule is called. First looked like Bivens was going to get to that one, but Jacobson called him off. That'll be the first out of this 8th inning.
And that's a big one. I'm surprised, really surprised, that Greenman swung on the first pitch he saw from a new pitcher with a propensity for wildness. Also ahead in the count 1-0 on a pitch out of the strike zone.
Logan Reiner now steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3 in the day. Dangerous hitter for the Chippewas. First pitch strike, fastball right at the heart of the plate.
Regner hitting from the left side. Maybe he is the reason that Coach Bakich pulled Hendrickson, wanting a different lefty to face the lefty Regner.
Benedetti checks the runner at second. 0-1 is in the dirt. Nice block there by Lugbauer to keep the runners where they are.
That was a nasty pitch, and Lugbauer doing a good job of surrounding that ball and knocking it down with the upper part of his gear because that one bounced over a foot in front of home plate.
And that speaks to Benedetti's wildness. Not known for his sharp control, but he still does have some talent and some pop in that left arm, excuse me. Checks the runner once, twice. 1-1 delivery. Swing and a miss. Big hack there by Logan Reiner. But he's got nothing but air. And count goes to 1-2.
Yeah, Benedetti just blew that fastball right by Regner. Nothing he could do about it. And Benedetti coming in with not a lot of warm-up, but his arm obviously at 100% right out of the gate.
Takes a long look in, working from the stretch with runners on first and second. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and fouled off. Just got and that will be a out.
It was a swing and a miss. I think that one, not a foul tip, but in fact it just popped out of the glove of Lugbauer as Regner chased one high and out of the zone. The runners will advance on the play, but because McKenzie was on first base when the pitch was thrown, the drop third strike rule not in effect, and Regner will be retired.
And there we have it. And that will move the runners up to second and third. Borgland standing on third, McKenzie on second. Daniel Jipping will step in, hitting .216 on the year. He's 0 for 2 on the day, also with a walk in his first plate appearance. And we'll have time called. A rogue ball finds its way from the Central Michigan bullpen onto the outfield turf. Daniel Jipping will dig back into that right-hander batter's box. Borgland on third, McKenzie on second. Here's the first pitch. Strike right at the knees. Good fastball there.
Good location by Benedetti. Really impressive that he was able to strike out Regner, climbing the ladder way up and out of the zone, and now looking to record the final out of the inning.
0-1 count. Here's the delivery. That one's a shot right at Jacobson. He'll miss that one. They'll score 1. Here's the throw to the plate by Johnny Slater, and the throw is not in time. That'll knock in 2 for the Chippewas, and suddenly they're right back in this game. Eric Jacobson was playing a little at average depth, but just not quite able to get to that one. Hard hit ball. Daniel Jipping comes up with the biggest hit so far of the day for the Central Michigan Chippewas.
Yeah, big hit there from Jipping, driving in the 2 runners who would not have been in that position if not for the passed ball by Drew Lugbauer. So Central Michigan has had some breaks go against them, finally getting some in their favor. That one might have even hit the tip of the webbing of Eric Jacobson's glove, but he was not able to corral that. And with 2 outs, Central Michigan cutting into the Michigan lead.
Yeah, perhaps if Eric Jacobson just had 1 or 2 more inches on that 6'1" frame, he could have gotten to that one or at least knocked it down. But he really stretched out for that one. There's nothing he could do there as it got over his head. Jipping still threatening. He's on first base. 2 outs here. That's a strike right at the knees. Quickly 0-2 on Colton Bradley.
Benedetti keeping the fastball down against Bradley. Spotted one on the outside corner for the first pitch. That one more on the inner half. Bradley over 2 on today with a sac bunt.
Benedetti checks the rudder. Now delivers the 0-2 pitch. That one's fouled straight back right into the screen.
Looked like he tried to overpower with the fastball. That one not located particularly well, but Bradley's still not able to keep up with it, just able to foul it back.
Count remains 0-2. Jipping standing on first base. Cronenworth holding with him. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. That one's in the dirt. And the Lugbauer will drop that one, and he'll throw it on to first to complete the strikeout. And that will do it. But the Chippewas get two back. They're right back in this one. They trail 5-2 as we head to the bottom of the eighth. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Not a bad performance there from Carmen Benedetti. Really, he only made one mistake, that being the line drive single over the glove of Jacobson. For the most part, showed pretty good command, got a couple of strikeouts. But unfortunately, Central Michigan able to chip at this lead.
And as I don't know why is playing over the stereo here. I don't know why Morris made that pun here, and it also could refer to, I don't know why Eric Beckett decided to go with Carmen Benedetti instead of Brian Paul. I know hindsight is 2020. What do you make of that move to come in to bring a fielder out of there? He gets his 6 warm-up pitches, but other than that, he wasn't really that fresh. Brian Paul had been warming up for a while.
Well,
why do you think Beckett didn't bring him in?
I think the only reason he brought in Carmen Benedetti is that he knew that Benedetti would be comfortable in that kind of situation. In Benedetti and Cronenworth, Michigan has a couple guys who are usually ready to come out of the field and right onto the pitcher's mound. And, I don't think Beckett would ask more than what Benedetti could provide. And for the most part, he pitched pretty well. I don't really see much of a reason to second guess that move, especially when he got the guy he was intended to getting Logan Regner to cut and miss.
And I guess you can't really blame that on the catcher's error. Lugbauer on that pass ball allowed to get away from him, and that's what put the runners in scoring position. If that one hadn't gone away from him, you wonder if any runs would have scored. Perhaps the speedy runner would have been able to come home. I believe that was Borglund that would have been able to come home, but standing on second base. But I really don't think McKenzie would have been able to get it all around from first, especially with the slick fielding Johnny Slater out there. Anyway, we move to the bottom of the eighth inning. Wolverines lead 5-2. Teams even on hits, 6 apiece. And a new pitcher in for the Chippewas, number 18, Tim Black, the righty, 6'3", 245. This is a big boy out of Mount Hope, Ontario. Also played a few years at Northern Iowa Area Community College before transferring into Central Michigan. He's got quite a beard, a redhead beard, quite intimidating presence on the mound. That's a big boy, almost 250 pounds with that beard. And he's got plenty of experience. Travis Mazes will step to the plate, playing third today, and he is 1 for 1 on the day. Also reached on 2 walks, so a solid return by Travis Mazes in his return from injury. Mazes digs into the lefty's batter's box. Here's the first pitch. Strike right at the knees. Black showing his power arm there with the fastball. Working very quickly here, 0-1. And that one's fouled off. Looked like it might have gone off of Mazes' foot. Quickly 0-2. He'll take a little time to walk it off.
Mazes does have a guard on the inside of his right foot, his plant foot at the plate. Maybe it fouled off of that. Mazes doesn't appear to be in any pain.
Johnny Slater on deck, looking to get his first at-bat of today. Here's the 0-2 delivery. That one misses low and outside. Count goes to 1-2.
Good pitch there, trying to backdoor Mazes with the breaking ball. Missed low and away, but you'd rather miss there than miss over the plate.
1-2 pitch. That one also misses outside. Evens the count at 2-2.
Black with a 3.77 ERA on the year. 12 strikeouts in 14 innings pitched.
2-2 delivery. Right in the outside corner. I thought he had him, but that evens the count. Just missed.
Just a bit off the black there from Tim Black. Not able to paint the black against Mazes. All black everything.
Payoff pitch, and he will walk him. Travis Mazes with his 3rd walk of the day. He's reached base all 4 times. What a return here. And that will bring up Johnny Slater, leadoff batter here on for the Wolverines as they look to answer right back. As the Chippewas got 2, Wolverines would like nothing more than to get a few runs to as we head into the top of the 9th inning.
Travis Mazes doing it all in his return from injury. He hasn't got a lot of action in the field, but really a big part of the Michigan rallies that have occurred today.
And Houlihan a few steps onto the infield turf looking for a possible bunt out of Johnny Slater. He's got some speed, Not a lot of pop in that bat either. First pitch, strike. Delivers the fastball in. Mazes a quick runner, and they'll have to keep an eye on him over at first base. Fields holding with him.
Looked like Slater will indeed square to bunt here.
Slater squares to bunt. Now he pulls it back. Mazes on the run, and the throw is in time. He is out. Mazes got a poor jump there. Perhaps Johnny Slater missed a sign there, and Mazes was taking off, and twice the Chippewas catchers have gunned down the Wolverines' attempted base stealers. First Jackson Glines, now Travis Mazes. Good performance by each of the catchers that have seen time. First Tyler Hunty, and now Greenman. And the third pitch is a called strike. Now 1-2, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning for Johnny Slater and the rest of the Michigan Wolverines. 1-2 pitch. That one's lifted high in the air. That's going back. But Bradley will send it underneath that one in the left center field gap. Just a little too much loft on that one. And Johnny Slater is the second out of the inning for the Wolverines.
Slater digging himself, or rather had a hole dug for himself by the coaching there. First calling maybe a fake bunt and then a stolen base. Both times Slater had to keep the bat on his shoulder while letting called strikes sail by. And with 2 strikes, couldn't do anything.
And Black working very quickly here. Lugbauer will step in. He has 2 hits on the day, including that piece of textbook hitting, that RBI to drive in a run back in the 4th inning. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That one's lifted high and foul. That'll get down the third base line, way out of play. Quickly 0-2. Lugbauer will still take a little bit of time, readjust his batting gloves, take a few practice cuts, and now step right back in. Quick delivery from Tim Black. As soon as he steps into that lefty batter's box, that one misses just outside. Count now 1-2.
Tried to come in with that backdoor breaking ball again. His second baseman, McKenzie, took a couple steps toward the dugout. He thought the inning was over, but ump did not go up with the right hand.
1-2 pitch. That one misses outside. Trying to get him with the changeup.
And this time it was the shortstop, McKinstry, heading toward the dugout before realizing that he'd have to go back out and take his position once more.
Anxious Chippewas here. 2-2 delivery. That one's inside. And after getting ahead 0-2, Black has now run the count full on Lugbauer.
Well, if nothing else, we know that Lugbauer is willing to see some pitches.
Yeah, I give him a hard time for that 4th inning at bat, but he came back with a solid piece of hitting, and he will line that one into center field. That one's down for a hit. 3 consecutive hits, 3 singles for Lugbauer. Have yourself a day, getting some limited playing time and taking advantage of it. He's 3 for 4. Nice job by Drew Lugbauer. Lines that one the other way, and perhaps a 2-out rally for the Wolverines brewing here.
Yeah, Lugbauer getting the benefit of the edges of the strike zone going in his favor. Maybe he's been complimentary of home plate ump James Mulick in his conversations behind home plate on the defensive end. Regardless, good at bat and a good day for Lugbauer.
Eric Jacobson swings on the first pitch and a little ahead of that one. He rips it down the third baseline.
Lugbauer 1 for 1 on his stolen base attempts this year, but I don't really expect to see him in motion right now.
Well, let's not forget he did advance on that ball that got away earlier this game. And a check swing foul ball. Count now 0-2 and Eric Jacobson. Well, as great of a day as Lugbauer has had, Eric Jacobson has had the opposite. Weak day at the plate. Well, he has performed in the field. Just looking pretty timid at the plate. Quickly 0-2. Here's the delivery. Just misses. He could have easily been running up on that one. Just missed the black of the plate.
Jacobson did get a good swing in his last at-bat, hitting a line drive somewhat deep to left field, but for the most part has looked pretty awkward at the plate.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's shot right to the shortstop, and he will flip over to Patrick McKenzie covering second base. They'll get the force on Lugbauer, and that will do it for the Wolverines. After a lead off walk to Travis Mazes, he's thrown out attempting to steal, and the Wolverines can do no more despite the Lugbauer single. We head to the top of the ninth. Wolverines lead 5-2. They try and shut the door on the Chippewas. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Andrew Hausman alongside Morris Fabry.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody expected to see Carmen Benedetti come out for this inning, and indeed, it is the man who seems to have spent the last half of the game in the bullpen, the big righty Brian Paul. He will take the mound for the Wolverines.
Brian Paul has emerged as somewhat of a closer. He only has one save on the year. Also shut down the Toledo Rockets yesterday, but he rockets his first warm-up pitch way over the head of Kendall Patrick, who's in there warming him up before Lugbauer gets back into his equipment and gets out there. But we won't read too much into that, but kind of surprising when you've been warming up for so long that you look that out of sorts on your first warm-up pitch.
I'll tell you, Paul has a very interesting way of getting into the set. As he takes his left foot up to get ready, he's gets crouched, his back almost perpendicular to the ground, getting real low. It doesn't affect his delivery at all as he stands tall prior to coming home with it. But still rather interesting.
Yeah, unorthodox to say the least. Paul did close down the game yesterday, a perfect ninth inning against the Toledo Rockets. 3 batters faced and dispatched them all on 11 pitches to close down that 7-3 win. This will be a save situation for him, and he's looking to notch his second save of the season for the Wolverines. Coming up for the Chippewas will be the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Fields, McKinstry, Houlihan, pending any pinch hitting changes.
And perhaps the reason Coach Bakich brought in Carmen Benedetti to create a save situation for his closer, who now comes into pitch with a 3-run lead in the 9th, as opposed to a 5-run lead that the Wolverines had before the 8th inning.
I highly doubt that, Morris. But you never know what Coach Bakich's motives are. We can't read his mind. We'll get a chance to talk to him, but I don't think that'd be the wisest question to ask him if he wanted Benedetti to give him a save situation. And finishing up the warm-ups here, Paul will get his final warm-up pitch in. Zach Fields comes to the plate 1 for 3 on the day. He hit a double his last time up. That was in the 7th inning, but only hitting 147 in the year, getting on base 1 out of every 5 times. So, nonetheless, the big man has shown that when he hits it, he can hit it a long way. 5 hits on the year, but 3 of those have gone for doubles. He had that one that Carmen Benedetti perhaps misplayed. It did have a lot of tailing action, but Benedetti is back out there in right field.
I'd say for the most part that he is good fields, no hit.
And now Zach Fields will dig back into that right-handed batter's box, and we are ready to get the top of the 9th underway. Wolverines looking to close this one out. They lead 5-2 against the Central Michigan University Chippewas. As Morris mentioned, Paul bends over and now straightens up at the waist. Here's the first delivery. That one's a fastball in the inside corner. 0-1.
Good work by Paul attacking Fields. Potentially a few pitches from ending this game.
Paul hunches over, stands up straight. Here's the 0-1. That one's lifted high in the air, but Bruder will settle underneath that one, and that'll be the first out of the 9th inning. Chippewas down to the last 2 outs here.
That was Fields seeing a breaking ball up in the zone. Got a pretty good swing on it, hit it with a little bit of pop, but that left center field, those power alleys here at Ray Fisher Stadium sure do go out deep, and guys will be hard-pressed to clear the fence unless they hit it down the line in either direction.
And perhaps it's what made Cody Bruder's home run so impressive is that was more to left field, even left center, than right down the fence, as Jacob Cronenworth's past 2 home runs have been in each of the last 2 days. Zach McKinstry now digs in there. He takes the first one for a strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. He was late on that fastball. Now 0-2.
Paul overpowering with that one up in the zone and a little bit off the plate outside. Now he has a lot of room to work with as McKinstry's behind 0-2.
Paul stands up straight. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one's golfed. Fair ball down the right field line. He's digging for 1, and he perhaps will go all the way. He's now going for 3. Carmen Benedetti finally comes over to field that, and he will get into third, standing up. Stand-up triple for Zach McKinstry. The Chippewas aren't done yet.
And that was a good pitch there from Paul through the breaking ball down in the zone on the inner half. But as you said, McKinstry golfed that one a line drive past a diving Cronenworth into right field, down into the corner, and Benedetti, the outfield did not have him shaded the pole, and the outfield playing in. So because that trickled all the way to the wall, there was no chance any outfielder was going to get him before he got into third standing up. A good one-out start to the inning for the Central Michigan Chippewas.
And now the third base coach of the Chippewas will come down and have a word with James Mullock, the home plate umpire. Unsure what exactly is going on. You have any guesses of what he could be talking about?
No, I don't really have any clue right now. Perhaps some sort of substitution being made or something along those lines.
No need to bring a pinch runner in for anyone on third base, let alone McKinstry. Very quick runner, perhaps one of the quickest in this whole lineup for the Chippewas. Nonetheless, Cody Leichman will come in as a pinch hitter. He takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Leichman hitting .208 on the year, on-base percentage right around .337. Limited at-bats, 16 of 77 on the year. Waiting for the 0-1 pitch. Paul delivers. That one's ripped down the right field line, but the Wolverines will trade it out for a run there. Chippewas get one in, but the Wolverines record the second out of the inning. Nice play there by Cronenworth to go over there and field that one, and Chippewas now down to their last out.
Cronenworth took a couple steps to his left and actually dove for that one to stop it from getting by him down the right field line. Nice stop there by Cronenworth, who was able to make the play unassisted, and the Wolverines gladly will trade and out for a run as the tying run still sitting on deck for the Chippewas with 2 outs to go. 2 outs in the inning, I should say.
Lineup will turn over here. Alex Borglund at the plate. He'll take a fastball on the outside corner for the first strike. Takes a few warm-up cuts, digs back into the lefty batter's box. Paul bends at the waist, now comes up straight. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Strike in the outside corner, same spot. Chippewas down to their final strike.
Borglund 1 for 3 on the day. He had a double into left center back in the 6th.
Paul comes set. Here's the 0-2 delivery. That one's chopped foul. Defensive hitting there out of Alex Borglund.
That breaking ball by Paul, I think he went with the changeup there, tailing away on the outer half of the plate, off the outer half of the plate. Borglund just reaching out there to keep that bat alive, spoiling a good pitcher's pitch.
Paul takes a look in. Count remains 0-2. Here comes the delivery. That one's lifted in the air. Jackson Glines will settle under, and now Carmen Benedetti will call him off, and that will do it. The Wolverines win this one 5-3, and they sweep this midweek series of games against the Toledo Rockets and Central Michigan. Wolverines will move into Indiana with a 16-12 record. That is now 4 consecutive wins for the Wolverines. They're starting to warm up at home as the weather warm-ups. Morris Fabry, what's your final thoughts on today's game?
Well, just a sound win for the Wolverines, who were able to string some hits together in the 4th inning to get that 3-run rally, and they were able to hold on in the end, maintain their composure in the face of some Central Michigan rallies, and definitely some good games to take into their Big Ten series on the road against Indiana this week in Bloomington.
And we will not be covering that series in Bloomington. Our next baseball broadcast will, as the Wolverines have another midweek game against the crosstown rival, the Eastern Michigan Eagles. That game will also be at 4 p.m. You can hear it right here on WCBN Sports Radio. The final here from Ray Fisher. Wolverines win this one 5-3. Winner Oliver Jaski, he gets his 2nd win of the year. Blake Hibbets, the starting pitcher for the Chippewas, takes the loss, falling to 0-2. Brian Paul came in the 9th, gave up a run, but he will get his 2nd save of the year. Wolverines with a solid output all around, finishing with 5 runs on 7 hits, 1 error, 7 left on base. Central Michigan, 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, 7 also left on base. That will do it for our broadcast of Michigan baseball. Thanks for tuning in to WCBN Sports Broadcast. For Morris Fabry, I'm Andrew Hausman, signing off. Good night, and go Blue.